We're live, Riley.
Are we really live?
It said we're live.
That was easy.
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Where is this going to go?
Figure this out.
We should have.
Went live. Thankfully, literally nobody watches our show.
Yeah, no one's there yet, I'm sure. Also, I'm pretty sure no one follows our channel.
Well, I didn't even know we had a channel, and I'm one of the hosts of the show.
Well, hey. How's that look?
It's not terrible.
Should I close the
The
lights?
Yeah. We'll put on some foundation, of course.
Of course, we need foundation. Solid. That helped a lot. It was really block light.
Yeah, not great. I feel like
That did absolutely nothing.
I don't know. It actually kind of did something. I look
What do
more.
you think?
I look lit.
You do look lit. I also need to remember to do this since it is a podcast.
Oh, that's going to be key. That is going to be key.
All right, let's see. Let's do this so we can see it, but also
Oh, very nice.
see that.
Where did we go?
All right. Sure. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can tweet this out. You know how our Twitter loves to engage with us.
They do love that, all three of them.
Oh, I should probably post it on Discord too.
Yeah.
Okay.
We might actually get people from there.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what is our thing? So we have a YouTube channel?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I think it's just Moff Talkin.
Come on, talking. Literally didn't come up. Let me search by channel. It doesn't even. I literally searched our exact name.
Nothing came up, huh?
Not a lot of things are coming up here. Talkin apostrophe. Let's try that. Apostrophe. No. Wait, what?
No, I didn't mean Moff Talkin.
So there's a channel called Cheap Ass Gamer that had the audacity to upload an episode called Moff Talkin.
How dare them? I see that, episode 41. Now, when I search for Moff Talkin, the first thing I see is Moff Talkin Live.
I do not see that, but
That's very weird.
if you have the link, send it to me.
Okay. Ew, I'm looking at the delay.
Thankfully, it would appear that not a lot of people watch this.
All right, there's the link to our live.
I'm going to comment and say, hey, our podcast is called Moff Talkin. Please cease and resist.
Yes, please do.
I'm going to see what happens.
Jerks. One watching right now. It's me.
I think they're going to see this comment because it's going to be the only one.
The delay is very weird.
Desist.
Now here's an issue I just thought of. I don't know if there's any. Is there any volume on the stream? Let me see.
Well, that's a great question. That's a great question.
I'm guessing yes.
This is a nightmare.
All right, there is audio.
That was like some kind of horror
That was
film.
horror film.
Well, our podcast is called Moff Talkin. Please cease and desist. Or
I'm pretty sure if you log in, like if you're logged into the Gmail email account, you will be logged into the YouTube account as well. So if you, like, on your browser, if you log into Gmail, it's the same credentials to log into.
What are the chances that this podcast is talking about our podcast?
When was it released?
Should I listen to it? I'm going to comment this first.
Yeah.
Episode 481.
Oh, they've been around a while, or they do this a lot. What date was this posted?
January 8th, 2017.
Were we podcasting then? We weren't podcasting then?
No!
Oh no! Quit! Deny it exists!
Delete the comment.
We stole from them.
I think our first episode was in May of 2017.
Let me check real quick. I can do that. I have the technology. Our first episode was May 2017. Uh-oh.
Well, I'm on record. I haven't posted that comment now, so that's okay. If you're just now joining us, we have we've come to the realization that we stole our title from some random episode and some random podcast that nobody listens to.
To be clear, I was not involved in the naming process, so you cannot legally sue me.
Here's what I'll say: is that name Grand Moff Talkin existed long before we started podcasting? Because me and Isaac would talk about it all the time for 2 years, as if we were already podcasting. We'd say, "Well, we'll talk about this on Grand Moff Talkin."
You just never did it.
And we just never did it. And then old CAGcast, as they called it.
CAGcast.
CAGcast.
It really rolls off the tongue
I'm going to tweet out that we're streaming.
on the YouTubes.
We're streaming.
So now that we figured out our streaming sitch, what are we talking about?
I don't know. Master and Apprentice? You want to start there?
Yeah, let's start there.
We're streaming our actual podcast live on video cassette.
Live on video on demand.
Okay. What? Hey, paste. Paste! What if we had like 19,000 viewers right now and it was just seeing this? Oh my god. Well, we don't.
We don't.
By the way, I just checked.
Pretty sure we have 0 people watching right now.
It doesn't even include me. I'm watching. I don't know that we will, but we'll at least have a recording that we can then upload.
We can then upload it. It might just stay uploaded. I'm not sure how it works.
I'm sure it'll stay uploaded, though we would probably have to change the title after the fact to Master and Apprentice.
No, we had 1 viewer for 1 second.
So that was probably me.
And now you're gone.
We're streaming our actual podcast live on video set. Let me click on the link and make sure it works. Boy, it takes a while, but it appears that it does. I'm going to give it a thumbs up. You know what? Why not?
Why not? Give it a thumbs up. Get that algorithm working.
What if that one thumb was all it took?
And suddenly we have 1 million viewers.
I think that's how YouTubers think it works when you first start. That's how we thought. Except we actually did get a lot of viewers for no reason right after that.
We did.
But we never gained any.
Mostly friends. We never went above
But
that.
we never lost any.
Right. Exactly.
I was planning on doing some kind of like dramatic intro when we do our episode 100, kind of referencing the fact that we've just maintained a plateau the entire time. Yeah.
Episode 100. That's a little crazy, right? We'll talk about it when we get there.
Yeah,
That's a little crazy.
It is a little crazy.
We're actually well past 100, but still.
Yeah, we are. Are we going to try to play a game at some point? Is that too complicated?
Like stream a game?
Yeah.
We could try it.
We could try it and see if it works, and if not, then we'll just do something.
Yeah, I don't know how it works with YouTube, like using Chrome to stream and also like show. I don't know. Well, we could maybe figure it out.
Yeah.
One thing that we will do is we'll see what happens.
You know what? If I have anything to say about it or see about it, we'll see what happens.
Master and Apprentice.
Yeah, Master and the Apprentice.
Master and the Apprentice. Okay.
It's not Andy Apprentice. Don't call it.
Now I have to.
I thought about making that joke constantly throughout this episode and decided I shouldn't.
The Master and the Apprentice.
You master.
The Master and Apprentice, far side of the world.
Oh, the franchise that should have been.
Okay. You, me?
How about I
Andy Craig?
host? I think I've seen that movie once in my life, but I couldn't tell you.
I don't think I ever have. Is that a Ben Stiller flick or is it a
It's an Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson flick?
And
Okay.
what's his name?
An Owen Wilson joint.
It's an Owen Wilson joint. The guy is not really in a lot anymore. The main guy. Boy,
I don't know.
good thing we're not doing this live.
Vince
It's a guy that looks like Vince Vaughn. It is
Vince Vaughn. That's who I was trying to think of.
It's Vince Vaughn.
Okay.
Okay. Well, our most popular episodes are book episodes, so it makes sense that we'd start with this.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, we need a little silence for better audio. Listen to our podcast in podcast form. It sounds better.
I'm sure we can edit this after the fact within Rock's little self-contained editor.
No, but you should be our video guy.
I want to be.
You should be.
I'm seriously considering spending too much money to get an iMac. Because I have I want to make YouTube videos, the best of them.
Yeah.
I want to be the very best.
Well, like no one ever was.
Yeah. I went to a 90s party yesterday, me and Christina did, and I went as Ash Ketchum.
Wait, who had this party?
Raven and Jared. You know them? Raven and Jared Wilson?
I know the party, and I accidentally ghosted the guy who invited me. Because he invited me all the time. Was Karsten Schiller there? Is that
what?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not watching the live
Hopefully you're not
stream.
watching, Karsten. I'm so sorry. Chelsea and I both ghosted you on accident because we forgot.
The
Until you
accidental
just
ghost.
now said it.
It was a lot of fun. There was a ton of people there, and I went as Ash Ketchum.
That's pretty good.
And Christina went as Miss Frizzle from Magic School.
Oh, also very good.
It was on point.
Yeah.
Yeah. She didn't have to do too much. She already has red hair
Yeah,
and
that's true.
glasses.
She just had to make it a little frizzier. And
She put a little, she got an iguana toy and put it on her shoulder.
Mhm.
And she got the dress from Amazon.
oh man. Perfect. There you go. Easy
Yeah.
to do.
I know. Anyway, that's the show.
Anyway, that's the show. We still haven't gotten our silence. It's very good.
Welcome to Moff Talkin, delicately curated long-form discussion of the internationally beloved Star Wars saga, tailored to the modern fanatic, brought to you lovingly in weekly increments by the loquacious yet soothing voices of your hosts, Riley
Hello.
and Jake. That's me. We're on the tube.
We are on to YouTube for this episode.
Who's tube?
Used to.
And goodbye, everybody.
That was it.
That was the worst thing we've ever done on our show. Thankfully, it was our first video episode. You know what? I've been going through our episodes for episode 100. Not the worst thing we've done on the show. I wish that I would have been keeping track of especially bad moments that we could make a nice compilation of terrible things.
I've got a lot of bad clips on my computer that we're going to throw in there.
Good, good.
Whenever I run into something, I'm like, well, we got to cut that out. That's terrible. I save it. I put it in a little folder of all of our bad clips.
Good.
So we got them.
Oh, man. What a great idea for 100th episode.
You can't wait till we get there.
Everything bad we ever cut out of the show that we thought you shouldn't hear. Well, we're here today
Yes.
to discuss American literature and
True.
the state of the publishing industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to do that via Master and the Apprentice.
The Master and the Apprentice.
Dark Side of the Moon. What's
Transformers 5, Master and Apprentice.
what is the Master and Commander?
Far Side of the World.
Far Side of the World. But there is a Far Side of the Moon.
Dark Side of the Moon. Dark of the Moon
Dark of the Moon.
is Transformers. Dark Side of the Moon is Pink Floyd.
Dark of the Lighter is Gavin.
Or Gavin.
Okay.
Yeah, we both got there.
Because we're a Star Wars podcast.
Correct.
And
Obviously.
speaking of Star Wars,
Mhm.
hey guys, we're talking about a Star Wars book.
Yes. A good one. Spoilers.
A good one, I can only assume.
Yeah.
Now, back in my day, when we first started this shenanigan mill that we have, we usually when we did a
That's my
book,
favorite Star Wars character, Shenanigan Mill.
that's good.
That's a good one.
Shenanigan Merc.
Oh, shout out.
Shout
To
out.
Shenanigan Merch.
Shenanigan Merc. Oh, did you post on Discord that we're streaming?
No, I thought you did. I'll do it.
I did Twitter and forgot. We would do book episodes, but only one of us would read the book. And then that person would have to describe it to the rest of us because we were lazy and had lives. That's not why, but that's what we did. And I Have not read all of this book. I've read a third of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've read Master.
But you haven't gotten to The Apprentice.
I haven't gotten to Andor Apprentice.
Right.
So you've read the whole
I have
darn
read this
thing.
whole darn thing. I have indeed.
Give me a ranking from our. You know what? Let's introduce the viewers. To
Do
our
we
rankings
start
system.
with our ranking?
No.
We never do.
We'll
that.
save it.
We'll save it.
But guys,
Hold
Guys-
on for our ranking system.
okay. If you're on YouTube, you like the lists.
Mm-hmm.
You like numbers. I feel like I'm screaming because I have
Because you have
headphones on.
Here, let me pop up your volume a little bit. Is that better?
Pump up a volume. Pump it up. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
You're definitely louder to me.
Okay. I always seem very loud to myself.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say. Master and Apprentice.
Yeah.
This is a book that combines Master and Commander and The Apprentice.
Yeah. Put the microphone like right up here, so that it's like right in front of your nose, so that it's like you think it's blocking your vision in your face, but it's not. Okay, well maybe not that.
Okay.
Right there. Oh, you got so much louder and better. I love it. That was much louder. I'm gonna turn it
Okay,
down
good.
a little bit, but yeah, we're good now.
That's fine.
Oh, you sound the dulcet tones of Jake.
Do I sound like a real adult
You've
podcaster?
never heard them before.
A lot of times you can't because I'm talking to the microphone wrong.
Exactly.
Boy, going to our early episodes. That was a constant problem.
It
Usually
was.
one of us was too quiet.
And it got fixed for a little bit, but for some reason it's been
Came
creeping back.
Came back.
Yeah, but you sound great
I
right
brought it back.
Mhm.
How do we podcast again? It's been a while.
Well, we usually start with a secret segment that I have this week that I brought to the table.
We're doing it on this. Oh my God, you might witness an injury while I'm on here.
Yes, you might. Yes, we're doing a secret segment
Oh my God.
that I told you about earlier this week.
Yeah, I guess I thought this was going to be something related to episode 100.
Absolutely not. It's totally unrelated to anything
Okay.
we've ever done.
Sorry.
Too late, buddy. Actually, no, I can't be mad because of the
Oh,
segment and how
okay.
happy I am to do it.
Hey, tell me, bring your
I follow it like.
mic.
Okay, so as usual, we're gonna do another secret installment of the segment that we all love, that we do every time.
Say it with us.
It's called Carly Reviews Jepsen, where I review the newest Carly Rae Jepsen album that just came out on Friday.
Oh boy.
So here we go. Let's go through this album. Now, you may know
Carly Rae Views Jepsen.
Carly Reviews Jepsen,
Good.
our classic
Our
segment.
classic segment that we've done.
Play the theme.
Okay.
We've done it a million times.
Yeah.
Every time she's released
Have
an
fun
album.
figuring out how to add that into the video.
Sorry, video people, you get nothing.
Podcast people get all the production.
They do. Okay, so you may or may not know who Carly Rae Jepsen is. She has.
I know
hits,
one person that does.
and it's me.
Oh, okay. I was
Oh,
going to say
who
another
else?
person, but I
Who
don't want
else?
to ruin the bit, just in case it's Max Landis.
Oh no, he probably does.
We
This is
talked
why-
about that at length
know.
on our show.
This is why I feel bad about my Carly Rae Views Jepsen segment, because I don't want to be compared to Max Landis, that traitorous hound. But
That murderous snake.
that murderous snake. I really do like Carly Rae Jepsen, though. It started as a bit on one of our episodes
Yeah.
where I threw in a bunch of her songs. I don't even remember why.
Well, we did talk about that creepy Max Landis blog.
Is that what
Where
it
he
was?
talked
and in that whole
about-
episode, I put a bunch of Carly Rae
We did
Jepsen.
do that.
Okay. Well, it turns out I actually really like Carly Rae Jepsen's
Hey!
music.
I found this out about Taylor Swift and me.
Yeah.
We like each other's music.
She loves your music.
Yeah.
So she just had a new album come out earlier this week. It's been on constant repeat for me at work. Thankfully, I was the only one at work this week, so I could just blast it as loud as possible.
Yeah. You work in a funeral home.
I work in a funeral home.
During
But
the
I
funeral.
tell you what, it was so good. Some of those corpses got up, started dancing around a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
work at a funeral home. That's not true.
You would hate to be thought of as someone
I would hate
criminals
to.
and a funeral home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the album starts with the track Julian. Now that's a little upbeat number. You hear it swelling behind you because I'm an idiot. I'm going to put a bunch of production behind this and
Good.
play all these songs. It's a great way to start the album. I'd give this song a solid 8 out of 10. This is a club banger, is what the kids would say.
Sure.
Very good. We go to No Drug Like Me, the second song.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what that one sounds like right at the moment, but I'm sure it's great because there's no song on this album that's under a 7.
Okay.
Next we go to Now That I Found You. I don't really care. Want You in My Room? Yeah, that's a really good one. Want You in My Room. I will say, more than previous albums. Like previous albums, you have Charlie Rae Jepsen.
Her dad.
Her dad.
Guest on the album.
But, you know, the big hit from her last album was I Really, 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 Really Like You.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, as we all know.
As we all know, everyone's heard it. It's a good song, very good song. That whole album is very great. It's called Emotion. It's a great album. Go check it out. Give her your money.
Yeah.
But you know, I could see some people complaining about that album as having kind of like teenager, childlike lyrics. Like it's a little like I really, really, really like you. Whatever.
Yeah.
Now this album gets a little more adult.
Okay.
I don't mean like adult themes like she's talking about, you know, like she's talking about like, you know, politics. Going to a lawyer, folding your socks. That's not what I mean.
Tax.
Doing a tax. She doesn't talk about that.
Yeah.
She gets like really adult. We're like, I really, really like you would now be something like, I want to get in bed with you.
Whoa.
So she's getting really adult in this album, but it works. So Want You in My Room, you can just imagine.
Sure.
Everything He Needs. Now, this is the standout track of the album for me personally.
Gotcha.
As a Carly Rae Jepsen.
Everything you need.
Everything I need is in this song. It's so great. It's playing behind me right now because it just sounds so great. And here's the chorus. Okay, you just heard the chorus. It's so great. On YouTube, you didn't.
Okay.
Great song. Happy Not Knowing. Great follow-up to that song.
Really good.
I think I want to go back because I think No Drug Like Me is actually a really good song. Sounds really 80s. Good song. Anyway, keep going. Automatically in Love. I give that one like a 9 out of 10.
Sure.
That's a good one. I'll Be Your Girl. Let's give that one an 8 out of 10.
Why not?
Party for One. Now, that's the most adult of all the songs on the album. I'm not going to spoil what that song is about, but boy, just go listen to it. Yikes. Okay, so go listen to the whole album. It's really good. Carly Rae Jepsen, Dedicated is the album name. It's out on store shelves right now. Find it on Amazon Music. Find it on Spotify. It's everywhere you can get your music.
Cool.
This has been Carly Rae Views Jepsen. Please go listen to her music. This is not a bit. She's great.
Okay.
There's my secret segment that I told you was going to change our show.
Well, I feel changed.
Yeah.
In that I feel like I don't know what happened.
Yeah. I kind of just hit you with a bunch of stuff right there.
You did?
Yeah.
Was I supposed to understand something?
No, it's just a really good album. I want people to go listen to it.
Good. Well, now you have to do the segment that I want to do on the next episode that I haven't told you about.
Okay, you have a secret segment?
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to like it.
Oh, no.
I didn't like that.
Well, I figured you would.
Well, speaking of Carly Rae Jepsen, and I don't know why I said I didn't like it because we do it all the time.
We do that segment all the time. You hate it every time, I know. But
Yeah,
we do it all the time.
I'm nothing if not consistently hateful.
True.
Not of Carly Rae Jepsen,
No, she's
but
great.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
Yeah, the segment's not great. It's not my best segment I've ever done.
Now, have you done another segment?
No,
I don't think you
I
have.
don't think I
I
ever
don't think you have. So,
This is my one true segment that
yeah.
I decided to do.
We don't often swing for non-irony on the show.
No.
Yeah.
That I'm being sincere. It's a great album.
Like that album a
I
lot.
like that album a lot.
Can I review the new Vampire Weekend album then?
Yeah, can I review it too?
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Oh. Let's have a conversation.
Okay.
This is YouTube Live.
YouTube Live.
Podcast people don't have to hear this stuff.
Yeah, it'll be in the bloopers, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Carly Rae Jepsen won't be in the bloopers.
That's
staying in.
Oh, good.
Doubling it.
Good. We're going to double it, bold, underline.
Yep.
Good.
No,
That'll help us gain some listeners.
I just listened to the new Vampire. What is it, Father of the Bride?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was okay.
Takes a couple listens.
To be, and maybe that's fair. I only gave it one listen. And to be fair, I wasn't a fan of Modern Vampires in the City or whatever it was. I kind of fell off of it after Contra, which I think is a masterpiece. I love Contra.
I agree.
It's so good.
I think that Modern Vampires, that was one that it also took me a couple listens because it was a leap in style slightly.
Yes.
This one is the same. My issue with it is only I think that there are too many songs, and I don't think it's as tight an album as their last, as basically everything else in their catalog.
Yeah, that can be a problem. They're a real like 10-song group. I feel like they should have 10 songs.
I think those first two albums that had 10 songs.
Yeah.
Hard to find anything to dislike with those 10 songs. Modern
filler.
vampires.
No filler, all killer, one might say.
There might have been some filler in modern vampires.
Yeah.
Might have been some filler.
Mhm.
But songs that are killer
are killer.
are killer.
Wow.
Yeah. That's my review.
Okay.
And then
yeah,
I listened to
it.
the new National album yesterday.
You didn't have a fun name for that, huh?
Oh, this is called Ezra Koenig is a guy who is on the album.
Bad name. How about like
Father of the...
You've heard of Sarah Koenig, the mother of podcasts. How about Ezra Koenig, a segment on our show?
That's good. That's very good.
Okay.
Hey, let's call this a segment called Learn from the Best.
So many segments.
I know.
So now that everyone has stopped listening.
Yeah, we like to get a healthy amount of listeners out the door right away every week.
If you don't love us at our worst, you don't deserve us at our best.
Yeah. If you don't love us at our Carly Rae Views Jepsen, you don't deserve us at the rest of this episode, which is going to be our best episode.
Absolutely.
Starting now.
You've only gotten better with each episode.
Yeah, that's you can't argue with that logic.
Can't.
Shan't. Merc. Now, we are obviously been on the podcast a long time about Master and Apprentice. I don't know if there's anything left to talk about with it, really. It seems like we've covered it pretty
We
thoroughly.
can try.
But chapter 1, go. What happened?
Chapter 1, I don't remember what happens in chapter 1.
Oh. Is every chapter at least a 7 out of 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Every chapter is at least a 7 out of 10.
Okay. Let's actually get a brief synopsis of this book. What is it about?
So
who's the master?
The master, Qui-Gon Jinn. You may have heard of him.
Yeah. Pretty sure it's the star of a little movie called The Phantominus.
Yeah, pretty much.
AKA Tipham.
AKA Tipham.
And who's the apprentice?
Well, the apprentice, now that's a funny thing. You might think...
The friggin' president?
The president? No. No, it's not him.
Okay.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi. I couldn't think of a good bit, so I was just going to say it's Obi-Wan Kenobi.
The president of saying hello when he's there.
Hello there. So, the apprentice is Obi-Wan Kenobi. The master is Qui-Gon Jinn. This is, I'd say, like, in the middle of their relationship, in the middle of their master and apprenticeship.
They've been together for, like, a couple years, it seems like.
And this is several years before Phantom Menace.
Pre-Tipham.
Pre-Tipham. It reminds me a lot of the series that Isaac was reading on the show, the Jedi Apprentice series.
I know.
Except written.
It has one of the words in it.
It does.
Yeah.
It has apprentice in it.
That's the one.
It's missing master
and Jedi.
Jedi and apprentice. No, there's nothing there. Cut it out.
Boy, live is something.
It's
Good
okay.
thing.
No one's watching. So, master and apprentice. Yeah, it does remind me a lot of that old series, except it is not a young adult series, or it's not a young adult book.
It's a little headier.
It's a little headier.
Jedi Apprentice books with Dr. Evil EX Pyramid.
Yes. Oh, I forgot about that bit.
Shout out to Isaac.
But it is very good. It goes through their journey of they're kind of at a tumultuous point in their relationship because
they're like gonna break up.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Because at this point they don't gel with each other. They don't get along that well. Not like they're not fighting all the time. It's just Qui-Gon feels inadequate of teaching specifically Obi-Wan because of how different their personalities are. Qui-Gon, much like in Phantom Menace, is kind of like, I'm out here, I'm going to do things my way. Obi-Wan is like
more of a rogue.
A bit more of a rogue. Obi-Wan's like, we should always do things by the book.
Constantly holding a rule book.
He kind of is in this book.
And is looking at it with gigantic glasses and an accountant's visor.
That's pretty much what he's like in this book. So there's a little conflict there. The central conflict of the book, I think, is that after they come home from a mission, the council approaches. Gross.
Continue. You'll hear it in post.
I'll hear it in post. The council approaches Qui-Gon and asks him to be part of the Jedi Council. Because someone's retiring, which I thought was kind of interesting.
That was weird.
I was like, I just figured they were there until they died, but someone is like, I'm getting too old for this. I'm gonna step down.
Yeah, not quite like the Supreme Court, it would seem.
Yeah, no, you're not in it till you die. You can choose. I guess the Supreme Court, they can choose to step away.
It's just, I guess it is kind of similar to the
It is
Court
kind of similar.
in that it's just kind of not done very often.
Right. It has to be pretty extreme circumstances. But I think it seems like this guy is just getting kind of old and he wants to not be on the council anymore. So they offer it.
Wants to go to Space Florida.
Now, at the same time, Qui-Gon has been considering whether or not to break up with Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And try and find Obi-Wan a different master because they're just not working together. I think on the first mission that the book starts with is like something happens and there's like a miscommunication between them.
Yeah.
And it's not the first time it happened.
I will say that first mission with them where Obi-Wan messes up, it's a really weird, minor, and specific thing that he messes up with.
Doesn't seem like that big of a deal.
It didn't seem like a big deal to me. Maybe that was the point, but it was a little lost on me on how I was supposed to feel about what happened.
It seemed, to me, I guess what I took from it is that it's not really there was one big thing that has caused a rift between them. It's just lots of little things.
This is another little thing in a long line of
exactly.
things.
This has been going on for since.
That's what I was called when I was born. Another little thing in a long line.
True.
Yeah.
I remember your parents saying that.
Yeah.
I was there.
Burn on me.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So the book continues from there. While Qui-Gon says he needs time to think about it, they are assigned another mission. So the rest of the book takes place on the main plot of the book with this undercurrent of the struggles of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon to get along.
Yeah.
Running through the whole thing.
The plot is also kind of strange.
Yeah.
In that it involves looking for another former Jedi, right?
Well,
or
not really. They know where he is, and he is still kind of a Jedi. You're talking about Rael?
Yeah, Rael Averross.
Yes. He is still a Jedi. Mm-hmm. He is someone who he is Dooku's first apprentice. This Rael Averross is Dooku's first apprentice. So that's why Qui-Gon knows him, because when Qui-Gon became Dooku's apprentice, this Rael was there because, as you can imagine, Dooku was kind of cold and not really welcoming to Qui-Gon. But this Rael came in, boisterous personality, really friendly guy, and he helped Qui-Gon when he was a young kid. So not half, but a lot of the book is flashbacks of Qui-Gon and Dooku, which I really liked.
Yeah.
That was very cool to have a young Qui-Gon in there.
Why? I'm assuming we're going to get to fun details.
We'll get to fun details.
Okay.
But so this Rael, there's a mystery behind why he isn't. Something happened with him on a mission, and his old apprentice is dead. Qui-Gon has some reservations about working with him. But what the council did is they sent this Rael Averross away to a planet that needed the king of this planet died. His daughter was too young to rule. And what do they call that?
Dead.
Oh, yeah, dead. That's what I was thinking of. No, he is Rael, the Jedi, is he's the king, but not the king. What is that called? What is that called?
The heir?
Not the heir. He's not related at all.
The rightful king?
He's just in charge until the queen is old enough.
Oh, yeah, like an intermediary.
Yeah, I can't. They
right.
say
There's
something. There's a word for it. I don't know what it is, and I'm an idiot.
We'll fix it.
We'll fix it. We will.
None of this is going to make it there.
No.
This will be 10 minutes when we're done.
Well, probably. But anyway, he is kind of in charge of the planet while the queen is getting older. And she's almost 14 or something, and she's about to take over. They got a real Naboo thing going on there. So anyway, but there have been attempts on her life, and there have been assassination attempts in general, and kind of some turmoil going on in that planet. So Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are sent there to assist Rael in the final days of his term.
Yeah. And Rael is still a Jedi, but is so separate from the Order that he is kind of cynical towards it. He's
kind of like Qui-Gon if Qui-Gon was separate from all other Jedi for 8 years.
Yeah.
The book starts with Rael and some woman in his room. He's just sleeping around with everybody. Yeah. We'll talk about how I feel about the council and their assignment. It's sending Rael to do this assignment.
Yeah.
It's very crazy because obviously he shouldn't have been doing this. But anyway, he's just kind of out there. He's still technically a Jedi in name, but
I mean, his name's Rail.
his name is Rail.
Yeah.
He has a lightsaber. He can use the Force, but that's kind of where similarities between him and the Jedi are.
Yeah, personality-wise.
Yeah.
That's a Jedi-like.
Not so Jedi-like, but
Yeah.
he's an interesting character. I really like Rail.
Good addition
Yeah.
to the canon.
Uh-huh.
So, this book, from what I have read, I haven't finished it. You've read the whole darn thing.
I've
think
read
we
the
might have
whole
read
darn thing.
The best thing about the book is that it really is just made up of all of these one-on-one intimate conversations between Jedi.
Yeah.
Talking about the Force.
Different philosophies.
Different philosophies behind it. Which is something that you always want, but you usually just get little snippets of it here and there, spread throughout canon. This is just like, that's the backbone of the book.
It is
Disagreements philosophically with how the Force is used, what the Jedi should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
I liked it.
The plot is very secondary up until the last third. Things kind of go off the rails.
Okay.
I
I don't understand it, but I'm assuming I will later.
Rail. His name's Rail.
I don't get it, but I'm assuming I'll get it.
We'll make you get it post. So some crazy things do end up happening. I suppose are we in spoilers right now, or
Let's spoil it.
let's spoil it. If you don't want to be spoiled on this book, do you recommend reading it?
Yeah, it's really great.
It's really great.
It's
He
up
hasn't
there
even
with.
finished.
I haven't even finished it, but it's up there with the best of new canon.
I put it in my top 3 of new canon for sure.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Up with Certain Point of View and like maybe the Aftermath series and then this.
Bloodline. Maybe.
Bloodline's really good too. I would put it probably above Bloodline. I really enjoyed this.
It's big talk right there.
Big talk, but it's a good book. So go read it if you.
Big talk, good book. That should be the title.
That should be the title. Big talk, good book. And Apprentice.
Far Side of the Dark of the Moon.
Spoilers for this book. They're trying to find the person behind all of these terrorist attacks and attempts on the princess's life. Turns out it is the princess.
Oopsies.
So part of what they're doing. Star Wars has been really interested in hyperspace lanes lately.
Yeah.
Was that a book we read recently that dealt with hyperspace, I think? And
Did it come up in Queen's Shadow at all?
yes, that's what it was. It was in Queen's Shadow. There was a lot of talk there about opening a hyperspace lane and the political ramifications.
Yeah.
This book is also kind of the same thing. The system that this planet is in has been shut off for most of the Republic for a long time, but they're about to open a hyperspace lane to allow travel through that system so that you can like cut down on like months of travel from a couple other systems. But to do that, they're having to join the Republic officially, which means they have to get rid of, for some reason, they have to like get rid of the absolute monarchy. Right now, like the princess's father was an absolute monarch. He had 100% control. Now they're going to a more democratic system where she still kind of has power, but not absolute power.
More like how Naboo works.
More like how Naboo works. Naboo works.
Naboo works?
So she seems on board with that. Rail's on board with it from the moment he got
He's
there.
on the rails.
He's on the rails. The Jedi they want this hyperspace lane to happen. And so that was kind of his mission to raise her, from when she was like 2 years old. Rails her from when she was 2 years old. No, let's cut that out. Cut that one out.
Okay, good.
Live. You wanted this.
You wanted it. I tried to stop it.
I know that's not true.
No, it's not true at all.
But it turns out she is actually not cool with giving up her absolute power. She wants to be queen, and she's kind of hid her personality from Rail for like their entire time together, which just like totally throws him into a rail spin, because he thought he knew her so well. He thought that they were actually friends. And it turns out she's like, no, I want you dead. I want everybody out of here. And so that is like how the plot ends up. It's like all this intrigue of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon trying to figure out who's behind all the terrorism.
That sounds good.
It's her. It's
That
very good.
sounds like some old canon
Yeah.
business right there.
And I kind of wasn't expecting it. It kind of surprised me when I got to the point where we found out it was actually her plan all along.
There's a little bit of dryness, I think, to new canon in some
Yeah,
ways. It doesn't get into the more like arch villainy and things like that, like the old books used to, which is fine. But
yeah, it's just different.
Now that we're reading old canon books, I miss some of the whimsy and silliness of it. And this book feels like old canon in a very good way.
It's a very whimsical novel. I think that's a good title, a good description for it. But
it should be called Masters of Whimsy.
It should.
And Apprentice.
It really should. That should be the full title.
That's not a bad. I mean, it is.
Masters of Whimsy and Apprentice. It's not great.
A Star Wars story.
A Star Wars story. And it does a good job of like there are 3 or 4 characters in there that seem suspicious that you can't trust.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You're constantly going like, well, it's probably this person. Zerka.
We need to have a conversation about this.
About Zerka.
You're welcome, Christy Golden, for giving you the idea. Or this is Claudia Gray. Claudia Gray. For reminding you through our RPG that Zerka exists.
Yeah, when we
in the audiobook they play that song you made.
When we up until this book, Jake thought that Zerka was something I made.
I thought you made it up.
Yeah.
I thought it was a play on Cesaveros.
No, that would have been funny.
But it was not.
It was
a real thing.
It's a real corporation in Star Wars.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
It's quick. Turn around and get back in town so you can get out. And
but they're back.
They're back, baby.
They were very much. I think they might have started in the old Republic games as a corporation. Then they made it their way into like other there's something that has been around. In the book, they say that no one's quite sure how long Zerka has been a corporation, but it possibly precedes the Republic, is what they say.
That's weird.
Which is very weird.
You think they're planting some seeds there?
I don't know.
For some further Zerka.
It's very interesting.
Further Zerka? That's not a bad name for the next
Further Zerka. Further Zerka. It's further Zerka. But yeah, so Zerka is in this book. They are now canonically something that has been around longer than the Republic. Interesting.
Jeez. Well, our version of Zerka has been around for longer than this canonical version of Zerka.
That is true. We brought it back before canon did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm also going to say.
Okay.
When we talked about Inferno Squad, I wrote about it for our website.
Yeah. I remember this.
I tagged Christy Golden.
I remember this.
On the tweet, she read it. What did she complimented it and made it seem like she didn't just brush it aside.
Right.
She wrote Queen Shadow.
No, she didn't.
Who wrote Queen Shadow?
I don't know, but I don't think it was Christy Golden.
Oh, no.
It was the person who wrote the Ahsoka novel.
No, my theory fell apart.
It did.
Why did I think that Christy Golden wrote? You're right. It's definitely not.
I can't remember her name, but she wrote the Ahsoka novel.
God, we need to talk about Queen Shadow too.
We do.
Because
I like that book.
We need to talk about that because there was a lot of really good parallels between that, which is a solo Padme story. Not Han Solo Padme, but just
Solo, a Padme story.
It's hurts my brain. There's a lot of parallels, like directly with Claudia Gray's Leia book, which they are both young, up-and-coming leaders who are entering a new position of leadership.
Yeah. And
are feisty and want to do their own thing. And they both do a very similar thing at the beginning of their book, where Leia frees slaves on that not Jeddah. What's the
Kashyyyk?
Wakanda. What's that place where the prison is at the beginning? Wabani.
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Wabani.
Yeah, that's right. So she frees like the Wabani slaves.
Okay.
And then Padme does another reckless thing at the beginning of her book where she like frees some enslaved people. There's a lot of good little parallels.
Yes. Well, I mean, it makes sense. I never read that Leia novel because you guys told me to skip it, but you know.
I did not. I think Isaac was not time. You know what? We could go off the show.
Because of that opinion. It took us
It all
a while.
started there.
It took us a while.
It all started with that Leia conversation.
I think we blamed something else on getting him off the show before.
In hindsight, it's like Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. A lot of little things.
A lot of little things, yeah.
Now we're best friends, and he's our apprentice.
Yep. Yeah.
We're his masters now. Or the captain's hat.
Another interesting thing about Master and Apprentice, the title of this book,
Mhm.
there are a lot of there's a lot of slavery in this book as well, put in a bad light, of course.
Good. Good. Seems
But
appropriate.
Qui-Gon, even back in this book, Qui-Gon is kind of pushing back against slavery, just the idea of slavery, which I agree with. I happen to agree with Qui-Gon that slavery is bad.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know
Flex, but
I don't know
okay.
about you, but
I don't like to comment on those sorts of things.
no, obviously not.
I don't want to say whether slavery is good or bad.
But Zerka trades in slaves. Like the reason Zerka makes so much money is they own slaves, and the system is so corrupt that Zerka can get slaves from a non-republic system. They can bring them into a republic system, and because they are a corporation and they are not enslaving people from that system, there's like a technicality that they can get around the law. So there are slaves on Coruscant. Like this book mentions slavery on Coruscant, but because it's all done under this private corporation, which it seems crazy to live in a world where corporations will get more rights than people and that they would be protected.
That doesn't sound relatable.
Doesn't
Star
sound
Wars
like
is getting too out there.
it's getting too out there. But that's the case. Like this corporation is more protected than the people it is enslaving. And the Jedi aren't doing anything about it.
Right.
And I want to talk more about Yoda in this book because, boy, every time I get prequel era Yoda, he's just the worst. And I really hate prequel era Yoda.
Yeah, Claudia Gray picked up on the fact that prequel era Yoda is like definitively not the enlightened Yoda that we'll see
He's really
in
not.
Empire. He is, in fact, a lot of times wrong in this book from a basic moral standpoint.
Yes.
Whereas the reader, you're like, why would Yoda think that? But then you see him in the movies and the way he responds to conflict, and you're like, yeah, that's Yoda.
Yeah, it doesn't feel out of character for prequel Yoda in this book. But
this is why I hate to do this to people. I don't like to bring this up because I know how you feel.
Yeah.
This is why in Revenge of the Sith, I love the moment where that fight takes place in the actual Senate room. You see the literal destruction of the Republic.
Yeah.
Yoda fails, and when he like sits in Bale's car. When he sits in Bale's car, he like kind of like puts his hand in his chest and he says like, "Failed I have." Like he seems like really. You can almost see in his eyes like, I've been wrong this whole time.
Yeah, he's talking about failure, more than just failing killing the Emperor.
Yeah, he wasn't
failed.
He was just like, I have definitively failed.
He failed the Republic hardcore.
Gonna go think about some things for a little bit. Yeah.
And then he gets better. And then
He gets better. It gets better.
It gets better for Yoda. If there any little Yodas out there,
if you are Yoda out there right now, it gets better.
It gets better.
You just go hide on a swamp.
That's all you gotta do.
It's a little tiny house and make gross soup.
I want to try that soup. Is it really that gross? I feel like
it seems like it's probably pretty gross.
I feel like Luke is just being a big baby.
Well, that would be in character.
Just eat the soup.
That wouldn't be that correct.
Has he ever had soup before?
Maybe it's just regular. Maybe it's just Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
No, I'm saying Luke
and this
grew up on Tatooine.
That's what I'm saying.
Do you think they're drinking soup on Tatooine?
This is what I'm saying. Yoda.
Yeah.
Little Yoda's out there. Make as much soup as you want.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get some backwards country bumpkin.
Right.
He's been living on womp rats and blue milk and dirt rabbits his whole life. You give him a nice meal, he's going to spit it in your green face. He's going to try to stand up and he's going to bonk his head like an idiot.
I don't know what point you're making. I was trying to see if Luke had ever had soup because it's too hot to eat soup on Tatooine.
I wasn't thinking of the temperature thing, but I think we were saying the same thing. Probably Luke had never had soup. Yoda made a perfectly decent soup because it was new for Luke.
Now, let me hit you with this.
Hit me.
Do you think that Luke had vichyssoise? Is that how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce that soup?
I don't even know what you're trying to
pronounce.
Cold
soup. It says it's a genre of soup that is cold.
It's not that. You're talking about gazpacho?
No.
Well, that's cold soup too.
Listeners, write us in about
it's not
what French word I'm pronouncing wrong.
Versace.
Yeah, that's it. Versace.
Has he ever had Versace cologne?
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
Obviously he has. Yoda or Luke?
Luke.
I don't know.
I think that guy smells pretty bad.
Probably does. Everyone's on Tatooine's got a smell.
Or they all smell really good.
That's possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Master and Apprentice.
I want to talk about a detail that was crazy. It was just thrown out there and dismissed, and the plot moved on. But it seemed crazy to me that I think it was Dooku talking to Qui-Gon. He said, "When I found you, you were like giving future readings on the docks for a couple of bucks a pop." Like he told him that like when he was a kid, he was this street rat who was just like using his powers to make money.
Yeah.
Which infuriated me because that's the idea that I had for Qui-Gon. If I was going to do a Qui-Gon origin story, I wanted him to be like a street urchin who grew up.
Claudia Gray stole it. She got your brain.
Claudia Gray,
She got your brain.
I can understand how you could steal Zerga from us, which existed before. But how are you getting in my brain? I don't know.
I don't know how she's doing it.
But that was really cool.
That is very cool.
And it made it seem like Qui-Gon was really old when Count Dooku found him.
Yeah, he was older than Huge.
Oh, yeah. Now, there was the one guy who was 5. Was this Rail?
Rail
was
was
5.
old. Yeah, Rail. They mentioned Rail was the oldest until
And he was only 5 years old. So, like,
Yeah.
they mentioned Rail was 5 when we brought him to council, and everyone's like, 5? I was old, and I was 3.
Right.
And you're supposed to be like, what?
Yeah, I know.
I like that they're expounding on that more.
There's a lot of this book does a good job, and at the same time a bad job of sometimes it can take the subtext a little too far. In situations like that, I feel like that's Claudia Gray saying the fact that all these people think it's normal to take a child at 2 is a little weird. Maybe I'm projecting onto the text, which is very possible.
Yeah, it seems like that's the intention.
That's the intention. Now there are other times in this book where I think it needed to be more explicit because it didn't come through that she was saying something about something in Star Wars, like droids. A theme in this book that I wanted to talk about were droids and droids' rights, because we have
a constant theme on our show.
A constant theme on our show, and yet no one deals with it yet. And I need someone. We're to the point now where someone needs to write a book specifically about a droid uprising, about the way droids are treated.
We're just the ones to do it.
We are just the ones to do it.
Our next episode, we sit down in front of that computer.
And we write. Till we're done.
We each take a word.
The best way to write a novel.
Who gets to write for what character? I always love hearing that.
But so there's an early example. There is like a hunting of the foxes tradition that this society has, this planet that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are on, and they're going along because they're worried there might be a terrorist attack while they're hunting. And Obi-Wan is like really freaked out that he might have to go hunt an animal. It seems kind of like, to him it seems like immoral that they're going to hunt this. It is pretty much like fox hunts like they used to do, where you get on horses, you send the hounds after a fox, and whoever kills it first wins. Which I'll go on record for this too. I'm not afraid anymore. I'll go on record for this too. I don't like hunting very much.
I don't either,
especially for sport. Like I understand there are situations where people have to hunt for certain reasons, not so much where we live.
I was listening to this like Chris Rock stand-up thing where he talked about that. And he's like, I don't understand. People say that you have to hunt. It's like, I went hunting with someone one time. We passed 2 grocery stores on the way. And that's always my thing. Is like, nobody has to hunt to eat anymore, really.
Where we live, not an issue. I can go to Kroger.
The moral way.
But especially hunting for sport, like the thought of a fox hunt or something like that, just doesn't sit right with me. And it didn't sit right with Obi-Wan either. So Qui-Gon, and this is not played for like irony or anything like that. Qui-Gon's just like, no, they got rid of that barbaric system a long time ago. They now have a droid. They send the droid out and they go and they hunt the droid.
Yeah.
And it's like the droid, it's kind of questionable whether or not it's like a sentient droid. It's not like they're sending 3PO out there. But at the same time, this is a droid that has been programmed for one specific purpose. It has enough sentience to run away and sometimes fight back and things like that.
Well, see, 3PO is hired to talk to moisture evaporators. I mean, I think that every piece of technology in Star Wars is a little bit sentient.
There's a little bit, all the AI has a little bit of life in it, in my opinion. So for me, that's a part of the book where it's not. It did not seem like they were pointing anything out that like, oh, it's.
They didn't point out the direct irony
Yeah.
of the fact that
It's
they
just
don't
like,
care about slavery.
don't worry, we're not killing an animal. We're just killing just.
That's right. Yeah.
And that was kind of annoying to me, especially because so much of this book is about Zerka and slavery and how important it is for Zerka to own all these slaves, which I agree. But at the same time,
I'm glad that you're on record as hating.
I am
Glad one of us is.
Yes, one of us at least is on record. But there's no point where they talk about droids needing rights or that it's okay. Like, they're like, well, instead of having slaves, why don't you just have droids? Well, they're more expensive, and that's the reason they're not using droids.
Right.
So that's a minor point in the book because the book really is not about that. But I just feel like this is like the third or fourth book in New Canon that I've read where I go, something's not right here. I think we need to talk about droids and the way they're treated. Not us. I just mean like Star Wars needs to talk about the way droids are treated in Star Wars.
We're going to sit down. We're going to take this one word at a time.
Yeah, we're going to write it. We're going to write the Great American Droid Novel.
Call me Ishmael Bot 3000.
That sounds like a Futurama joke, honestly.
I take that as a compliment.
That's a good. I admit it as a compliment.
Okay. Well, let's wrap this up.
We talked for like 2 minutes.
Well, we talked for a lot longer than that.
Well,
because it's almost 3 o'clock.
Okay. Listen, I got to go through a couple more points here. I really like this book. This book is so good.
Is this a segment that we like to call quick hits?
Quick hitters.
Quick hitters.
Love that theme.
Hold for bumper.
Hold for bumper. Okay, so I'll cut all this out. Sorry, YouTube. This is what happens. I wanted to talk a little bit about Yoda more and his opinion.
Is that his last name?
Yoda more. Yoda more. And there's a point where him and Qui-Gon get into it about slavery, because Qui-Gon is very anti-slavery. And it's not that Yoda is pro-slavery. It's just like, that's the way things are. We can't really we can't force other cultures to conform to our standards, is what he's saying pretty much. So when Qui-Gon brings this up, I don't know if you've heard the term whataboutism, probably have.
Right.
It's on Twitter all the time, where you bring up, you're like, this person is mistreated in Ohio. And they go, well, people are way more mistreated in West Virginia.
Right.
And it's just like, okay, that's a totally out there.
Instead of addressing one problem, you bring up a different problem.
Right. So like, yes, that should be fixed too. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this. So Qui-Gon does that. He's like, I'm talking about these slaves. And Yoda starts talking about, he's like, well, what about this species of spiders that eat their young? Before it's a sentient species, but they're like spider-like, and like spiders, they eat some of their young before they've fully matured. And he's like, what about this species that when they get past a certain age, they kill their old ones? Like when people get past the age of 60, they kill all the old people.
Put them on an ice floe.
They put them on an ice floe. And Qui-Gon's like, this isn't just a particular culture's custom.
Let's scooch you a little bit
How are
forward.
we getting out of frame so much? I
don't think it's a we thing. What about you?
What about you? But he says, Qui-Gon, I love his response. He's like, I'm not talking about a specific culture's problem that we need to go in and fix. There are human slaves. There are humans taking slaves from other humans. This is happening on Coruscant. Why aren't we doing anything about this? And Yoda says, it doesn't matter. It's not the Jedi's place to question the Republic.
Oh.
Which Qui-Gon has a big problem with. Qui-Gon and Yoda fight a lot in this book.
Yeah.
And Yoda's the only one who didn't vote for him to join the council.
Right.
Which comes out later.
He's like an NBC executive who didn't pick up the Community and wanted to cancel.
Yes, exactly. Like that. But I found that point very interesting, that Yoda doesn't think it's the Jedi's place to question the Republic. And so Qui-Gon is like, I think at that point in the book, he doesn't say it, but around that point, I think he's made his decision that he's not going to join the council, because he's very much on the fence of like, or not on the fence, he's very much on the side of like, the Jedi serve the Force. We don't serve the Republic. If we see the Republic is being morally corrupt, we have to fix that. I like that.
I think you might like my fan fiction a little bit.
I think I will.
I don't know.
I need help with mine. I want you to help me with mine.
Well, you want to put a comma after some words.
Oh, okay.
And a period after a sentence.
That's all I needed.
That's all I figured out.
That's all I needed, buddy.
Good.
So I like that. The light doesn't serve the Republic is something Qui-Gon says.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
Really good. Prophecy. Let's talk a little bit about prophecy.
Boy, oh boy, there was a big old drop. A big old prophecy drop.
Yes. Do you have that? Because I didn't write the prophecy down. No, I don't.
I might have it in a note. Let's see. I might have accidentally just posted it on Discord like an idiot. Oh man, all I have is this note I made about Lost the last time we watched. No, I don't think I have it, but there was a certain implication that that which gives birth to the light will also give birth to darkness or something like that.
Yeah.
Or she who is born of darkness will give birth to darkness.
Yes.
That's the big one.
Yeah.
And that seemed to apply to Leia.
Yes.
Born of darkness.
Very interesting.
Gives birth to darkness.
Yeah, so there's just a whole underlying theme. One of the other major themes I think of this book is prophecy.
Yeah.
Everyone goes through their phases. Like you have Dooku was very much into the Jedi prophecies. Then he fell out of it. Then Qui-Gon, Rail kind of turned Qui-Gon onto the prophecies when he was younger. He got invested in them, and then Dooku came back and was invested in them again. Then eventually everyone kind of dropped it. Or no, Dooku, I don't know if he dropped it or not, but he's kind of out of contact in this. He's not, they obviously don't know that what he's doing at this point. Right. And then near the end of this, or in the middle of this book, Qui-Gon again turns to the prophecies because he starts having dreams, premonitions, and so he's very much in tune with the Jedi prophecies in this book, and you can see it's kind of what gets him back into it. And with the sections that actually deal with specific prophecies are very cool.
They're very cool.
Yeah.
One of them seems specifically about Rise of Skywalker. It talks about an evil once thought dead will rise again, which you could apply to just the Sith in general.
But you can also apply it
to
to
Palpy.
Coming back.
Whole team Pal.
So I think for just the prophecy talk in this book alone, because it's definitely the most in-depth we've gotten.
Yeah,
prophecy
for sure.
Possibly even in old canon. I don't remember anything that dealt with prophecy.
And I can't believe you haven't mentioned this, but the Jedi and Sith coder in this book, the one from KOTOR, which was not in any other form of canon until this book.
Here's the quote, because I loved this quote. I had to write it down. So I can't remember who was talking. If Qui-Gon was talking. Anyway, he's just talking about the days of old. He says, millennia ago, back in the days of legend, when the Sith still governed much of the galaxy. So I love the little callback back in the days of legend, which is a great little callback to legends. Was that the best decision ever to call it not old canon, but to call it legend?
We've talked about this a lot.
Yeah.
But yes.
It was a great decision.
It's very good.
Because it leads to so many moments like that. So I like that little callback. It's
when he was back in the days of old canon.
Yeah.
I mean, that one over that.
That
old canon, we don't use anymore.
But it was just a little throwaway line, but it warmed my heart a little bit that there was a time, now in new canon officially, there was a time where there were tons of Sith all over the galaxy, kind of in control of it. Again, more than two. Again, maybe opening the way for future things. They can build off this one little line. Maybe that was a line that they said, hey, Claudia, put this line in there somewhere.
Hey, Claudia. Got a little something for you.
I just want to do a couple more quotes because here's a great quote from this book, from this actual published book.
Okay, good. Let's hear it.
Mace Windu drew himself upright and folded his hands together in a formal gesture of respect.
That's right! His traditional listening position.
His traditional listening position also doubles as a formal gesture of respect.
Hey, he's got the traditional listening position!
Here's a good one of Qui-Gon's thoughts. The council had a habit of interpreting silence as agreement.
Yes, that's
sometimes he just wouldn't reply to them because they would interpret his silence as him agreeing with it, even though he wasn't. but it was easier for him to get out of the room that way. I liked that.
Yeah, that's a good
Obi-Wan is worried about Qui-Gon disobeying the council, and they're worried about looking too much into these prophecies can lead to the dark side. Qui-Gon says, "I'm not turning to the dark side. Not every disagreement with Jedi orthodoxy turns you into a Sith Lord overnight."
Yeah.
There are so many great quotes in this book, mostly from Qui-Gon.
And he calls it the orthodoxy.
He calls it the Jedi orthodoxy.
It's just always interesting when the Jedi refer to his religion. We have not heard it very many times.
Right.
We've heard it basically
Last Jedi
and A New Hope. That's kind of it.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. When facts collided with ideals, Qui-Gon preferred to change the facts. He rules in this book. He's great. I don't know exactly what that means or what it is in reference to, but I wrote it down. Clever. Sounds very clever. And then here's something that I didn't write down because it's a little too long. I'm just going to play a clip of it. Onomatopoeia. It's too long for me to write.
Okay.
But there's a lot of discussion around Qui-Gon in general being, a quote unquote gray Jedi, and that he's not really a light side user. He is, but he goes against the Jedi so much. And this section of the book is Qui-Gon and Rael arguing. Rael has gone a little crazy after the princess's betrayal, and he kind of doesn't see the point of sticking to the Jedi order anymore, or choosing the light side over the dark. It doesn't matter to him anymore. And this clip is Qui-Gon's response to that, and it's really, really cool. So here it is. And I'll put that in. Sorry, YouTube.
Oh my God.
But
what a terrible choice we made.
No, we're gonna entice him in with this, and if you want the production, you have to, listen to our podcast.
That's right.
All one of you listening.
We'll get one listener. Everyone counts.
Everyone counts. You count.
You.
I don't know who's listening.
I think it's old Subtle Knife.
Oh, that's MJ.
MJ.
Hi, MJ.
I think.
So that's a great quote. Just for your context, Jake, he says he talks about why choosing the light matters, whether or not it's a really, when you listen back to the episode, you'll love it.
I can't wait to listen.
It's a great quote.
I can't wait to hear it.
So I guess that's pretty much all I had. Oh man, Qui-Gon knew the council would be wrong about many things. He felt they allowed the Jedi Order to become a sort of Chancellor's police rather than concentrating on knowing the Force.
Yeah.
There's so many great quotes in this that this book is kind of a subtle knife takedown of the Jedi Order in a way.
Yeah.
From Qui-Gon's perspective, and in the end, kind of Obi-Wan's perspective, because the book ends with them kind of reconciling the differences, realizing that they need each other, that differences actually make them stronger together, and they sort of have their happy ending. And then there's an epilogue where it's Obi-Wan talking with Yoda, I think, after Qui-Gon's dead, which is kind of touching. It fast forwards to post Phantom Menace, but it's just overall, it's a great book.
Well, I think this
good
Qui content. Qui-content.
Qui-content. There we go.
I think that this is now the earliest book we have in New Canon.
Yes.
As far as the timeline goes.
Yeah, because Queen's Shadow is all post Tippum.
Post Tippum?
Yep.
Yeah, it's in between Tippum and Outcome. So I think this serves as a useful prelude to Tippum.
Yeah, it really does.
The aforementioned Phantominus.
It's one of those books that I think when you read it and then you watch the Phantom Menace, it's going to make the Phantom Menace a little bit better when you see Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon's interactions in that movie.
What better compliment can you give a Star Wars book?
Yeah.
That it's good?
That it's good. So. No, that's not good enough.
No, not good enough.
This book's great.
This book's not good enough.
I will give this book a rating on our patented rating scale.
Good. Can't wait to hear it. Now, earlier, we had a secret segment.
We did.
A lot of people don't know this, but on our scale of 1 to 3, which has pluses and minuses.
Pluses and minuses, of course.
There's a secret force.
Right, there is. I'm going to be real stingy with that secret fourth. Okay?
Yeah, okay.
Because it means something when you give a book.
It matters when you choose the fourth.
It matters. No. Not good, sir. It matters, right, when you choose the fourth. And I can't just hand it out. Some things are
No handouts. You
no
always
handouts.
like to say.
What, every book's getting a trophy these days just for participation? No, I don't think so. Not in my book.
Oh no.
I shut down.
I think I'll shut down for one.
I will actually though give this I might give this book a 3+.
3+.
I might give this book a 3+.
That's the highest one so far.
It's a solid 3. No doubt in my mind it's a 3. But there are times after reading those quotes, I'm like, yeah, this is a 3+, man.
A lot of good moments.
Really a lot of good moments.
Very good. I can't wait to finish it.
Yeah, you should finish it. I'm sorry I spoiled it.
Yeah, I'm not interested anymore, actually.
No, it's good even with this book.
Yeah. This is not a plot-heavy book.
No.
I think we've mentioned. It's worth reading.
The twist was fun in the moment,
Yeah.
but it doesn't make or break the book.
A lot of things are fun in the moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for another week.
That's it.
Hey, let me tell you something real quick.
I'm just seeing how long we've been recording. Who's looking?
What is that?
Okay.
Review us on the iTunes page
Review us
for the
on iTunes.
love of God.
Please.
For the love of me and Riley, at least.
If you love us.
You love us.
If you tolerate us.
If you accept us even a little bit into your ears every week, hit the 5-star button. We have had, that many. If you watch the YouTube video, you can see how many fingers we held up. I don't want to spoil that. Okay. Well, maybe reviews next week. Maybe spoil that one. But yeah, we've been stuck at 30 for a while.
Yeah.
I just checked on some other podcasts and they're as good as us. And they surpassed
Serial?
us. Yeah. They had like 1,000.
Ah,
Which is, I was like, what? We're better than that.
we're better than Serial.
Running from the cops, that podcast isn't that great.
Ooh, that podcast is actually really good.
I know. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna plug what is that network called? Not Heavyweights. That's not a good podcast. But it's not that.
I don't know. What are you talking about?
Whatever this network is, the producer's Running from the Cops. Listen to that.
Yeah.
It's really good. And listen to the Y2K one they did too.
I didn't listen to that one. Is it worth it?
Yeah, it's really
Okay,
good.
I'll listen to it.
It's about Y2K.
Oh.
So
I was there too.
Yeah. So was James Mercer. No, James Murphy from LCD Sound System. I was there. It doesn't matter. What matters is this has been Delicately Created long-form discussion of the international
Listen to
Star
Carly
Wars
Gibson.
saga tailored to the modern fanatic, brought to you
Dedicated.
lovingly in weekly increments by the loquacious yet soothing voices of your host, Riley.
It's been out for like a week and a half at this point that
And
you're listening.
Jake.
So go buy Dedicated by Carly
Please can't
Gibson.
provide music take over at this point.
No, it's Carly. Sorry to break it to you. Carly's taking over
Yeah!
this episode.
Terrible. Our worst one yet.
Our worst one yet.
Might be. No, good discussion of that book.
Yeah, I didn't feel like it.
You didn't feel like it?
No, I felt like I was all over the place.
No, it was good. I think once we got into the book, it was good. There's a lot of setup of microphones and things in the beginning.
And a lot of Carly Rae Jepsen.
That was not what I was expecting.
I knew you would never guess what stupid segment I wanted to do.
When you said that the segment would be slowly revealed, I thought that you were going to do some bit with the titles of the songs, and that eventually there would be like some puzzle that I would unlock in my brain.
No, I literally just wanted to talk about her album because it's really good.
It's really funny. I get it, brother. What are we doing? Are we going to do fan fiction?
Ooh, yeah, let's do a fan fiction.
Okay. Let me get my laptop.
Now, which fan fiction are we doing? Yours? Is that why you brought your laptop?
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought that's what we're going to do.
okay. Yeah. I'm into it now. I've written the thing that I've written. I wrote a chapter 1 and I wrote a chapter 2. They're about 1,600 words together, and I really like them both. And then I started chapter 3, which is very dialogue heavy, and I felt totally out of my element, and I think it sucks, and I want you to help me with it.
All I feel really confident writing is dialogue.
Well, see, I really need your help, because I really like this story and this premise I came up with.
Nice.
So I might share it with you and see if you can help me making this dialogue feel like it's not two robots talking to each other.
You know what
Which in Star Wars could be possible, but it is not. It is not about droids.
I'm going to need your Wi-Fi
Okay.
password. Hopefully, let's log in as Ted D2, Ted D5.
TED 2. TED 2.
Gathering Security key.
Would it be Jaws 3D? Jaws 3D. No caps. Just that repeated. No one's stealing my Wi-Fi. I should have just turned the volume down.
Oh my god, we're not. Oh my god.
We are like,
Oh god. Well, this will be really interesting then.
oh, I didn't hit record. That's why I stood up.
Oh my god. Well, I hope you hit record on the last one.
I did. Hit record. What is this, Joe?
Versus Volcano.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's thing.
Ah. Wow. Boy, did they make fun of him on Hollywood Handbook so hard.
Did they?
Forgot about
Hit
record.
record.
Oh my god. Oh. Okay.
Cut that out.
How do we want to do this? You know what?
Oh,
You know what we can do?
Can you?
I
There's no
can
way to.
probably access this on my phone,
Okay.
so I could give you the
Give me
laptop,
the lippy
give you the lippy.
tippy, as I like to call it.
That lippy tippy.
Oh God, that song. That song.
I know. Yeah, you know, are we like streaming right now?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it doesn't really matter if we're watching, but I'm excited about. I finished that book I've working on for a long time. I wasn't able to quite get it where I wanted it to. I felt like I was super sad over it. I was like, I'm just gonna move on to the next thing. And I had an idea that I was really excited about and I liked, and I actually have enough of the story where I was able to outline it. But now I'm finding that when it comes to just actually writing out a plot, I don't enjoy that as much as just like dialogue and craziness. But
I love the
it's
plot
good.
more. Maybe we should be a writing team.
It's fun to like plot it out, but then when it comes to executing it and making it sound good, it's a little,
yeah.
It's more dry to me than it is like, okay. People should play Final Fantasy. Those games are good and the music's good. I've been like listening to that music.
I'm very mad I took so long to play Spider-Man.
Isn't it really
The
good?
game is really good. I'm
It is
actually
good. It lives up to the hype.
I'm 100%ing it because I love it so much. I beat everything. I beat all the DLC.
I keep
And I'm
needing
like,
to
I
go
keep
back to
wanting
do that.
I keep on, yeah, you need to go back and do the DLC. The DLC is
Yeah.
very good. All three of them. They're all kind of connected. Like the story that starts in the first one ends in the third one.
Oh, okay.
Other things are
Do
going
you ever
on.
play as Miles in the DLC?
It's kind of rip-off. I'm sure they're saving it for. You do get to see him in the mask, which is kind of cool, but you never get to play as him.
Oh.
But yeah, it would be. I'm assuming they're saving that for the sequel. Sorry for spoiling 2018 Spider-Man. Because you never get to be Miles.
Well, you do get to be Miles. Let's be very clear. Technically, you get to
That
be
is
Miles.
true. You never get to be Miles post powers.
Miles per hour.
Miles post powers.
Not miles per hour.
Miles per hour.
Uh-oh. Is it?
Oh my God.
Don't tell me you just not got it.
Sonic is the worst.
That's pretty good, though.
Why is Sonic a thing?
Wow. This might be an issue. Seems like the mobile site is a little something to be desired.
I cannot believe his name is Miles per hour. And I never got that. That's hideous. Do any of the other ones have punny names? Knuckles doesn't. Knuckles the Echidna, that's not a pun.
I think it's just
It's
miles
just
per
miles
hour.
per hour. Oof.
Which, yeah, you don't get it until you say it out loud.
It also doesn't make sense if you're in England.
Miles per hour.
Kilometers per hour.
Yeah, it still tells me his full name is kilos per hour.
Kilos per hour.
Kiloms. I hope this works. It like the scrolling is a little wonky on my device here, but we'll see. You know, and when we're editing it, we can edit out the awkward pauses.
Yeah, sorry for the awkward pauses that are there right now.
Okay, well, I'll keep this on my side until we start, and I'll pass it over to you, so you're not spoiled.
I don't want to be spoiled.
Heaven forbid spoiled. Well, you can host this one.
Oh, okay, I'll post this one. Put on your headphones.
Girl, get your headphones on.
It's all right.
I do love that
You're
song.
gonna get wrapped up in like 2 seconds. You're all there. You go. You're all caught up.
Wrapped up. What am I? Chance. I don't know.
Chance the wrapped up. Is that a tweet?
Is that a tweet? Right in the show. Let's know we should tweet that.
Should we tweet that?
Tweet it.
Chance the wrapped up. When he retires, that will be my tweet.
Okay.
Oh, it's getting funnier the more I think about it. Chance the wrapped up. The day he retires. All right.
Chance the wrapped up. I need more to drink before we do this.
I need something to drink.
Brief pause in the broadcast.
The worst thing to do is leave dead air. We're doing it.
Well, I was watching.
Everybody's watching.
Stream like nobody's watching. Never had just straight vodka before, but
I mean, I don't know if we have anything fun to put in it.
yeah, Sprite. See Mountain Dew.
Sprite, Mountain Dew. That Mountain Dew's old. We got water. We got soy sauce.
Oh, you got soy sauce.
We got a beer.
You got a beer.
A cerveza. I'm sorry.
What
Yeah. You don't really have anything to
is this?
I don't know.
Let's figure it out.
Oh, that's pretty good. Brandy.
Brandy.
Yeah, you like brandy? That's good brandy.
Brandy's all right.
That's a little brandy, actually.
I just got brandy for the first time recently, and it's a nice little dessert, which is what it's meant for.
This is like our dessert episode.
Yeah, it really is. I realized recently. Are you recording?
Yes,
You're gonna wanna get-
we are live.
You're gonna want to get this.
Okay.
I realize you can track my weight through the podcast because we mentioned on an episode. This is while I was engaged. That I weighed 107 or like 65 pounds,
Okay.
which is heavy for me at the time.
Yeah.
I don't weigh that much
You
anymore.
don't weigh 165 anymore, huh?
Not quite. Gotta go up a little
You
bit.
gotta go up a little
I
bit.
listened to that when I was going back through episodes, and I was like, "Oh no!"
To be 165 again.
Now I can calculate exactly how much marriage weight I'm gained. That's a lot.
I don't know if I've ever said my weight on the pod.
You have.
Have I? It was probably, I don't know what I was when we started.
Because we said the weight that was on our driver's license, and I think we said what it actually was.
Yeah, mine probably still says 150, which was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Not 150.
Oh boy.
150 was probably a little too skinny.
High school
'Cause I am
Jake
6
was
foot, but-
146. And
But that's
probably-
good for your
That's
height.
probably my peak attractiveness too.
That's good for your height, though.
Good for my height.
Like, that's a good weight for you.
What's not great for my height is like 190.
No, it's not great for your weight. That's white.
It's not good for my wife either.
That's about what I am right now, about 190.
That's what I am.
Yeah.
And I am shorter than you.
You are shorter than me,
So
but
my life is
we both need a little something.
well, gym time.
Yeah, but I probably will just continue eating crap and not going to the gym.
We're gonna eat crap, we're gonna sit, and we're gonna talk in microphones. Complain.
Mentally,
One person.
mentally exercise. I hope you enjoyed this weight talk.
Welcome to Weight Talk. Grandma waiting. Weight Talk.
Grand weight talking.
Will Huff.
Weight huff talking. Weight huff talking.
Have we ever made a Will Huffington Post joke before?
We have not.
Seems like we should.
Will Huff
Let's consider that.
Will Huff Poe talking.
Will Huff. Will Huff Dameron.
Will Huff Poe Dameron. I love it.
Very good.
That's something. That's a tweet.
That's a tweet. It might be a tweet from our account.
You gotta tweet that.
Will Huff
Will Huff
Dameron.
Poe Dameron.
It's almost as good as your Pokemon Yogurt in polls.
Oh boy, that one was a tweet.
It's really a tweet.
We're not near election season.
No.
No one plays Pokemon Go anymore, and no one knows
No one drinks yogurt.
drinks yogurt.
Did you know yogurt is just yogurt?
That's the exact right time that I'd love to make a joke. Like literally everyone on Earth has forgotten about the things I'm referencing.
All three things are not timely.
Yep.
That's great. That's not as timely as Will Huff. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
ready.
that's right. We need a little silence, and we're not hosting. Hobbs, trying to be quiet. We should get him on the camera before the day's over. So
Yeah, we should. He's such a cute kid.
Come here.
He's such a good kid. He's very quiet.
And he knows I'm trying to pick him up. And he wouldn't let me. All right, we'll get him later. Okay. Welcome to Grand Moff Talkin, delicately curated, long-form discussion of the internationally beloved Star Wars saga tailored to the modern Swift, tribute to the last episode where you said you liked Taylor Swift now. Brought to you lovingly in weekly increments by the loquacious yet soothing voices of your hosts, Riley, that's you, Jacob,
Great to be here, Jack.
and that's it.
That's it.
We're still a duo.
Jake 190 over here.
Our friends left us. That'll make sense in the bloopers.
Hey. Now, what I think we should say, as this is fan fiction theater,
I did mess up the intro right from the beginning.
brought to you
Which is what the
lovingly
intro
by the
usually is.
loquacious yet soothing performances
Yes.
of your hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, here's what's happening. If I can be so bold.
Please be so bold.
Only I could be so bold. Will HuffPo Dameron. We have a segment that's taken the world by tepid
No,
rain.
I forgot.
That's fan fiction theater.
Is that the segment?
No, I'm not going to do my thing.
I thought you were going to do your thing.
No. I have to talk about it with you beforehand.
Okay.
It's more of a premise.
Oh, no, okay.
More of a sketch that I thought about writing out, but thought that I ran out of time.
Gotcha.
I thought that I ran out of time.
I thought that.
Didn't actually. No, so we do fan fiction theater, which is a segment where we go on the internet, we go to the fanfiction.net forums,
Yes.
which has over 30 years of Star Wars fan fiction. We pick one at random. Sometimes that bites us in the butt.
Like last week.
Doing hidden,
2 weeks ago, I guess.
whenever that was.
Yeah.
But we've always mentioned that our intention is not to make fun of them because we've written fan fiction.
Yes.
Our very own-
Now we can say all of us have written fan fiction.
Oh!
Because I have done that now. It's not done yet.
Well, all of us have written or are writing.
Correct.
Hashtag am writing.
Hashtag am right.
Shout out to Brian. So, but we would say this. We've never actually read Jasmine's fan fiction.
Didn't we?
No.
I
Did
feel
not?
like we never read even a little bit of hers.
I don't think so.
You know what, Jake?
Yeah.
I think that's the lost episode when you weren't there.
What?
Episode that turned into music.
The one that broke the microphones?
Yeah, which is that? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Cut out for a second.
It's cut out for a second. Yeah, the thing that devolved into a terrible musical thing.
You
That
might hear that
You might hear it sometime soon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we read some of Jasmine's fan fiction on that episode.
Get out of town.
Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna reveal that.
Are we doing this episode? You release that.
Well, it'll happen. I don't think
Yeah.
we read all of it. I think we read some pretty embarrassing sections and she shut it down.
Oh my god.
But I have the audio.
Hey, you know what? Oh, this will make it in. But tune in to episode 100. You might hear that. Very good. Well, speaking of reading embarrassing sections of fan fiction, potentially shutting down, we're going to read my fan fiction.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Now, when did you write this?
I was trying to think of when I wrote this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, because that's what I asked you.
What I was trying to say is I was trying to think of when I wrote this.
Mm-hmm.
Something I thought would be interesting. I wish you would have brought it up on the
Right,
show.
right.
But I think before Force Awakens come out, actually.
Okay, so it's kind of relatively recent. So
Relatively
this isn't
recent?
this isn't like Jasmine who's writing fan fiction at age 8.
No. But what I did do is I wrote this while I was at work, when I had a job where I had my own office,
Cool.
hours to do, where I had nothing to do. I had hours with just time to fill.
Sounds
And I
like
was
a
in
good
front of the
job.
computer. You know what? It was. Why did I leave that job? Oh, wait, because I made no money.
Mm,
And now I can afford to own property.
well, that's probably it.
I can
Buy a
afford to
house?
rent property.
I was going to say, did you buy a house? I didn't
And
know.
actually, we can really afford that. But it's a better job. We're poor.
Yeah.
And we wish more people listen so they can
Fine.
get us money. And every episode that we do, we lose $50,000.
We do. It's so expensive.
We do have $50,000.
I do buy brand new microphones and equipment every week that we record.
Well, we like to pour our water on the microphones after the recording.
Yeah, it's
We
just
pour
that.
one out for Jasmine and Isaac.
One here, one there.
Mhm.
That's it.
2 mics,
2 mics,
2 homies. We got it. 4.
4
Okay.
water on the mic.
That's the kind of stuff you'll hear in this fan. So what was happening at the time was there was a lot of talk in the build-up to The Force Awakens about, this is going to be like the old movies, which had a distinct tone, not like the prequel. J.J. was very anti-prequel, very much like, this is getting back to basics. This will make things right.
Right.
This will begin to make things right. And
I didn't make it right yet, but it began.
I mean, to be fair, it was the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
It'd be hard to fix it all right then. But he was right. He began to make this right.
He did.
I love the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
I also recognize that the writing is perhaps not the best at times.
Yeah.
But I was interested in the potential of what would that look like if you tried to put a New Hope skin on the Phantom Menace and tried to have that kind of quick
back and forth
banter. If you tried to move the action along a little faster instead of having long scenes of, what if instead of early on in the movie when Amidala is like sitting in a poop chair around with all of her other poop chair people, they're just sitting. What if
exposition?
I was like, I feel like in A New Hope, she would be rushing down a hallway. People are like trying to catch up.
You're trying to Sorkin it up a little bit.
I was trying to do a little walk and talk.
Yeah, you got to do a little walk and talk.
Yeah.
We've been watching through The West Wing recently.
I've always wanted to watch it.
It's pretty good. I like it. It's I think the problem with The West Wing is people think that's how politics actually work.
Right.
Which, it's not.
It's like if you watch ER.
Right. That's not
pretty good show.
Good show.
Uh-huh.
That's how West Wing is. It's a very good show. It's very compelling. Good acting. Great inspirational speeches by the President Barrett.
I love a nice inspirational speech.
But it's a good show. I recommend it.
Good show. So that was, and I was also, what I liked to do, because I like to write in general, but I find that my way into writing something is usually through dialogue. I like to write some dialogue and then fill in the gaps later, like if I'm trying to plan something out. So I thought it'd be fun to try to write like a screenplay. So what this is,
it's your screenplay.
It's a screenplay. I knew nothing about screenplay format, and I was literally just doing this at work, just kind of fooling around. So this is not like actual traditional. I think there's a lot of like, we see blah, 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 but you don't say we in an actual screenplay format.
Yeah.
You'd actually just probably write something good. There's, I think, a section of this where I just like, there's an action scene. I think there's some laziness, but there's like 30 pages here, I think. Usually a page is about a minute of screen time, I think.
Okay.
So we got a little chunk here.
So we can do like a 30-minute, we got a little 30-minute here.
Yeah, you kind of have. You have, I think it ends abruptly,
Nice.
but I think we've got basically up until they meet Jar Jar in Phantom Menace time.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we got. And
you didn't want to tackle the Jar Jar conundrum.
I started and realized this is less fun, actually. Now that I've gotten to this part, I don't think I gave him a Gungan-like manner of speaking.
No spoilers, but the story I'm writing is about 2 Gungans.
Wasn't that in Last Shot where there's a Gungan that didn't talk like
Yes,
that? And he was like, what, you think we all talk like that?
Exactly, and that's how my Gungans are just like, they just speak normal.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Yeah.
So you will see, though, at the beginning of this, again, this is pre-Force Awakens, thus pre-Rogue One.
Okay.
I think you'll be interested in the beginning of this.
So we're going to see what they stole from your brain.
Yeah,
Okay.
Claudia Gray and either Tony Gilroy or Gareth Edwards.
Well, if people don't know this, but Tony Gilroy kind of came in there and just saved the whole movie single-handedly.
I mean, it was a disaster when it got there.
Yeah.
We know nothing. I was thinking about, and this might be a bad idea. It might lead to my embarrassment or shame. I was thinking of reaching out.
For it, then.
I was thinking of reaching out to the Blast Point people because this is kind of what they do. And I was thinking of seeing if they want to collaborate on trying to like find every single interview and bit of behind the scenes stuff we can about the production of Rogue One. Kind of try to put it together in some kind of oral history. Because for some reason that really interests me. Because it just seems like it's not only that we've heard about it, it's that we have existing footage of stuff that's so different.
Yeah.
And we don't know a lot about it.
And Disney's a tough nut to crack when it comes to finding out what happened behind
Yeah.
the scenes. When they don't want to let it out, they don't let it out.
Despite them producing that Nutcracker movie a couple months ago.
Wait, are you talking about the one with 4 realms?
You know, I was kind of thinking, watching that trailer, there's only 3 friggin' wrong in this movie.
They got you, though.
No.
They had that 4th realm in there.
Oh, they had me.
Yeah.
And I was there day one, Christmas morning with a
Yep.
bucket of candy, and I was, it wasn't in theaters anymore. It came out in November.
Right.
I don't actually remember. Okay.
No one remembers that movie.
I'm going to pass you the laptop,
Okay.
and I think you want to scroll on this inner scrolly.
Scroll on the inner scroll.
Scroll on
Like
the inner scroller. And don't bring my laptop, because it's my work laptop.
Okay, I won't bring it. Where's the inner scroll?
So there's a scroll, like, you know.
Pad?
Oh, here. Oh, hang on a second.
I broke it.
No, you didn't. I mean, there's one of these,
Oh, there it
and there's
is.
one of these. But I was saying use that to scroll down the page. Look at that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I've got it all figured out. Okay.
Okay. Now, something that we've done on our show is we've taken the intro and made that the opening crawl.
Yeah.
There actually is an opening crawl
There's an
here,
opening crawl here.
but not right at the beginning. So don't put in the music yet.
So you were okay. So you were going to do a cold open for episode 1.
Yeah. Should I give insight before or after?
After. Let's
Okay.
read stuff and then you. Yeah.
Okay. How about this opening scene? Do you want to be Clone Commander and I can be Darth Vader?
Okay. Can I be Clone Commander Cody? Can that be my
Add in Cody.
head cannon?
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But do it.
Okay.
As if this makes sense. It's supposed to be phenomenal. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. And now we move into the screen direction. A vast sea of stars consumes the screen. The camera begins to pull out, at first imperceptible, slowly. Or slowly, though, a sheen stretches across the stars, a curvature. The pull-out continues until we realize the starscape is being reflected off the eyes of the helmet of Darth Vader. Cut to a profile shot of Darth Vader staring contemplatively out of the bay window of the Executor. He hears a voice from behind him.
Sorry, I was not laughing at your fan fiction.
You're laughing at the pull-out continues?
I did say that's what she said very quietly under my breath while you were.
I was trying. I heard.
And then we were okay, I'm sorry. Go back in. Oh no! Wait a minute. Rise of lights. Okay.
Perfect.
Wallaby. Okay. My lord, we have locked onto the ship.
Are you going to add on tinny?
Hey, nothing but 100% production for my pal Jake.
Hey, I appreciate it, buddy. This is going to need all the help I can get. Vader says nothing. The camera follows him from behind as he walks through the door down the hallway.
Shall I ready the troops?
No.
No, but sir.
Vader continues walking without a word. By the way, OS means off screen.
Okay.
You hear their dialogue.
Gotcha.
So I didn't think it'd be necessary to read that, but we'll see as the dialogue continues. So cut to interior pirate ship, the Uhumele. I got this because I was trying to I went on Wikipedia and I was reading was there some kind of raid that Vader ever did on a ship to try to do. So this apparently is a real ship. Something that kind of. Anyway, I'll stop doing that. Inside the dank, rusted ship, alarms are blaring. A frantic crew runs to and from various corridors preparing for a fight. Cut to crew member number 1 running past a panicked crew toward the captain's quarters. Shirk Heron, the captain, runs out of the quarters, and they meet in the hallway, both with looks of resigned terror on their faces.
They've locked onto the ship, Captain.
Not just them, him. Crew member number 1, a look of horror spreading across his face.
So it's
I. Cut to the ship's crew in the halls of the Uhumele, scrambling in the background, readying weapons, crowding the entry blast door. A cacophony of sirens and alarms flare. Cut to interior Inquisitor. I think I said Executor earlier, but that's okay.
Executor is the name of the ship.
A close-up of Darth Vader's helmet. A thin vertical window in the background shows downward movement. He's in an elevator. It comes to a stop. The music cuts out, and we hear only his breathing and the hiss of the opening of a blast door ahead of him. Karen, off screen. Fire!
I don't know if we have to do all that. I'll probably just like put all that stuff in.
Okay.
If you just use the same voice every time.
Yeah. Fire! Cut to Darth Vader from behind. Slow motion. The camera follows behind Vader in an unbroken shot as he emerges from the executor and storms the halls of the Umelee. He draws his lightsaber. We hear the foreboding hum of his saber, the muffled sounds of screams and blaster fire, no musical score. All we hear above the watery muted noise is the sound of his mechanical breathing, overpowering all of the sound. The crew fire blasters, which he deflects back at them, killing some. Without lifting a hand, we see 2 crew members float off the ground, straining, choking before being flung across the room by the Force. Sparks rain down as a deflected blaster bolt hits the lights above. The ship now flickering between darkness and light.
So they really did just get in your brain and take that scene
Yes!
from Rogue One.
Yes! Yeah, I know. I watched that and I was like, son of a gun!
Yeah, that's pretty much, I mean, yeah. I might, instead of doing a bunch of sound design on my own that will take a
You
long
can just
time,
take it.
I might just play that scene from Rogue One.
It's just the same.
It's just the
I
same.
know.
Yeah.
He throws his lightsaber effortlessly and impales a crew member. He stretches his arm and draws it back. The camera continues to follow him, unbroken as he reaches the captain's quarters. The difference here is I had the camera going from behind.
Yeah.
Where when they stole it to avoid a copyright legal,
they had to flip it
thing,
around.
flip it around.
Yeah, they had to flip it around.
You could argue that. So sure,
At the very least, they did it.
They did it. I didn't have the courage to
You
have
didn't have the
millions of
courage.
dollars to film this for professional money. Shurker is cowering in the corner. Did I say? Oh, okay. Yeah. So Vader's in the captain's quarters.
Right. That
Captain Shurker is cowering in the corner.
What a coward.
Yeah, what an idiot. He lets off a blaster shot, which Vader deflects with his lightsaber, hitting Heron in the shoulder. Heron gasps, grabs his shoulder, panting, his eyes panicked. Vader raises his lightsaber to Heron's neck, and we cut to a close-up of Heron's fearful face, the glow of the red saber reflecting in his teary eyes. What are you? Cut to a close-up of Darth Vader's helmet. The music swells. We hear Vader's mechanical breathing, and the camera slowly zooms into his reflective eye, mirroring the opening shot of the film. The lights are still flickering, on and off, light and dark, light, dark, light. Cut to black.
All right.
Main title.
Now we're on the main title.
That's your Star Wars. Yeah.
So it's very interesting to have a cold open, which again, Rogue One did, kind of like
Right.
a cold open,
It's cold end.
cold end, cold open,
Yeah.
cold in the middle of it.
You know what? There were some chilly people in there. My reasoning for this was I was thinking of the fact that the imagery in Revenge of the Sith is played to be so important and iconic. And yet, if you'd never seen the Darth Vader outfit, it wouldn't really have any meaning for you.
Right.
It would just be some bodysuit that he was put in.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought it would be there's also, when you're watching it, and you're just, like, if you're just watching this as episode 1, there's no inevitability of what's to happen. So I thought it'd be interesting to start with Darth Vader. Like, what is that? What's that all about?
Yeah.
And then it would cut to the rest of the story. So that was my reasoning there. I don't know if that works or makes sense. But
It
that's
seems,
what I thought.
this is not a dig, obviously. It seems to me more like a TV technique.
Yeah,
Like every episode, you would start with another like Vader flashback.
it's a Breaking Bad thing.
And then finally, it's the airplane, like the stuff in the swimming pool. And Breaking
Yes,
Bad. It's very much that, which I think is a great technique to use.
Right.
I don't think they would ever use it in a movie
No.
when you don't,
Because you
they
wouldn't
were
see
gonna-
Vader again here until
until
episode 3.
Right.
But yeah.
It reminds me very much of that technique.
So that was my reasoning there. But now we cut to where we're. I don't know if you heard the main title music blaring, but
No, it's gonna happen now.
okay.
Okay, so I'll start taking over.
Yeah, sounds good.
Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. Turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute. Hoping to resolve the matter with a blockade of deadly battleships, the greedy Trade Federation has stopped all shipping to the small planet of Naboo. While the Congress of the Republic endlessly debates this alarming chain of events, the Supreme Chancellor has secretly dispatched 2 Jedi Knights, the guardians of peace and justice in the galaxy, to settle the conflict. Isn't that just the crawl from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
I
the
just
crawl.
took the thing. There's some dialogue just straight from the Phantom Menace,
Okay.
by the way.
All right. All right.
Yeah, so this, what I'm saying, my fan fiction is just the movie The Phantom Menace.
The ultimate fan fiction.
Yeah. It's like the fan fiction we read where the epilogue was just the movie Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Okay. Exterior, Republic cruiser, space. Pan down to reveal a small space cruiser heading toward the camera at great speed. Pan with the cruiser as it heads toward the lush green planet of Naboo, which is surrounded by hundreds of Trade Federation battleships.
By the way, that is actually word for. I looked up the script to the Phantom Menace, and that's word for word what it says for that opening shot where it pulls in, which I never saw. Naboo is looking like a lush green planet, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. I guess it's kind of cloudy, I think. Right?
Yeah. So anyway, I stole that because I thought it was kind of interesting.
The Republic cruiser approaches the large central battleship. We follow the cruiser as it docks in the enormous main bay. Interior, Trade Federation ship, docking bay, space. TC-14, a silver protocol droid, and Newt Gunray await at the door of the Republic cruiser. One hooded figure emerges from the Republic cruiser. The camera follows him from behind as he, TC-14, and Newt leave the docking bay through a sleek sliding door. Interior, conference room, Trade Federation ship. Newt Gunray and the hooded figure are sitting at opposite ends of an oblong white table. The figure removes his hood and reveals himself, Qui-Gon Jinn.
He has a name tag, ideally, so that makes sense. Kind of sense.
What?
I said he reveals himself as Qui-Gon Jinn.
What did I say?
No, you read it right. I'm just hearing in hindsight. I'm like, a little silly that it says reveals himself.
Reveals
Qui-Gon
himself,
Jinn.
Qui-Gon Jinn. We don't know who this person is.
Exactly.
I got you now. TC-14 is finishing pouring tea into Newt Gunray's cup. She steps over to Qui-Gon and begins pouring tea in his. Qui-Gon shoots her a glance that shows how little he cares. She finishes pouring and steps back into the corner of the room, offense somehow apparent on her lifeless face.
Who wants to be Qui-Gon and who wants to be Newt? I'd like to be Newt, I think.
Okay, all right.
I said that and then immediately said what I wanted.
Yeah, I'm also just hoping you are slightly less racist than the Phantom
Yeah,
Menace.
no intention for to do the accent. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a good Liam Neeson at all. I'm not even going to try. How long will we retain this veneer of peace?
I'm sure I don't know what you mean, Ambassador. Our blockade is perfectly legal. A prophylactic measure to keep the peace we have always sort of this minor disagreement. There is no war nor threat of it. I assure you any unrest you feel is only in your mind.
Only because I have sensed it in yours.
Newt looks taken aback.
I'm sorry. I tried to do a little Liam Neeson. Yours.
Yours.
It made me laugh.
Anyway, so Newt looks taken aback.
You feel it. The conflict simmering underneath. Gunships encircling. Probes flying overhead. Fear spreading on the planet below. The sense that something is coming. Elsewhere. Elusive. Something beyond your control.
Newt looks at first stunned, then amused. Sensed. Somehow I knew you two are more than just ambassadors. Speaking of which, where is the other one? Padawan, I assume.
I asked that he stay on our ship.
Smash cut to Obi-Wan Kenobi sprinting. Interior Trade Federation ship, Deck A. A frenetic score bursts out as we see Obi-Wan sprinting down the hallway of the Trade Federation ship. A battle droid emerges from around the corner, and Obi-Wan force pushes it against the wall, shattering it before it can even draw its weapon. Obi-Wan, okay, let me pause real quick.
Okay.
For some reason, when I wrote this, I thought that they wouldn't need to have communicators like little comms because they could just communicate through the Force.
Okay.
So imagine a comm situation, but it's just them communicating through the Force.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Mind calm.
Hitler's book.
Oh no.
Okay, I'll be Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Obi-Wan.
Already.
Yeah, right. Obi-Wan out loud but communicating with the Force. You blew it already, didn't you? Interior Trade Federation ship conference room.
Because we.
So basically, like, Qui-Gon can hear this, but he's not going to hear it.
Because we were assured that negotiations would be short. Because, as you say, he is a Padawan. Young, inexperienced, often speaks out of place.
I'm the one sticking with the plan. You were supposed to distract him.
He would have been a distraction.
So back to the bridge. A Neimoidian emerges behind Obi-Wan and sees the broken battle droid of the Jedi. What the? That was the Nemoidian.
I lost my place.
Okay. So the Nemoidian sees them. Obi-Wan swivels around and the two lock eyes. The Nemoidian quickly fumbles for his communicator. Obi-Wan, visibly nervous, without thinking, thrusts out his hand. The Nemoidian drops his communicator and his feet begin lifting off the ground. His tri-fingered hands grip his neck. Gurgling sounds sputter from his mouth. A dark, determined look spreads across Obi-Wan's face as the Nemoidian chokes. Suddenly he snaps to, realizing what he's doing. With some strain, as if he's fighting against the Force itself, he drops his hand, and the Nemoidian collapses to the ground unconscious. Obi-Wan looks at his hand, and the fallen alien. He winces with regret. Obi-Wan quietly to himself. That could never happen again. He looks at the broken battle droid, then the Nemoidian, realizing that he has to find a place to hide the bodies. He eyes a locker room to his left down the hall. Cut to interior Trade Federation ship conference room.
So, he find what's a little dark in this?
He let his focus down, and the dark side accidentally came out. That was going to be addressed later in the film.
Okay.
Which I got
Which you did. All right.
But one thing that I was interested in was highlighting how inexperienced Obi-Wan was when you would be forced to train him.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, so we're cutting back the conversation between you and Qui-Gon. I see. Well, you're not here to force a settlement after all.
We are. But we both know you were never going to settle for anything less than a treaty, which we both know the Queen will never sign.
What is it you really want in that? No. Master Jane.
I want to know why a federation in charge of imports and exports has taken a historically unprecedented measure of blockading a defenseless planet with gunships because of a simple trade dispute. Why a group of bureaucrats have been making under-the-table deals to obtain droid transport tanks and control ships.
And I want to know how a group of powerful wizards, such legends, with such knowledge of the Force, have fallen so far as to be reduced to settling simple trade disputes. Qui-Gon smiles wryly as if he's heard it all before.
Riley?
I hardly know him.
Ooh.
Okay.
Riley, I hardly know ye.
There, we did it. Anyway, I want to know how a group of powerful wizards, such legends, with such knowledge of the Force, have fallen so far as to be reduced to settling simple trade disputes. Oh, yeah. The Jedi. My mother would tell us the stories, of course. Knights of the Old Republic, slayers of monsters and beasts. And now, here you are, sipping tea with bureaucrats. Qui-Gon, without breaking eye contact, picks up his teacup and pours the liquid onto the ground. Newt looks momentarily concerned.
We're still knights, Viceroy. The beasts have just taken different forms.
Cut to interior Trade Federation ship locker room. Obi-Wan is exiting the locker room, but stops when he hears Qui-Gon's retort. I have a bad feeling about this. Cut back to Newt and Qui-Gon. Newt Gunray leaning back in his chair, impressed and concerned simultaneously. It would appear we are both a part of organizations whose role in history has changed, Master Chief.
I may be with them, but they do not control me. There's more. That's the next page.
Yeah.
That's why it says more. My only master is the Force. Who's yours?
You know, I think he'd like to meet
Let me try it.
you. Sure. Take two. Take right.
My only master is the Force. Who's yours?
You know, I think he'd like to meet you.
Well, I'd very much like to meet him.
Obi-Wan off screen. Master, what's going on? Newt Gunray. He is no doubt more qualified to explain our position on this matter to you. If you give me a few moments, I can get him on the view screen. He stands up from the table. Perhaps we can settle this dispute after all.
I sense we can.
Newt leaves the room. The door shuts behind him. Qui-Gon immediately stands up and speaks to Obi-Wan through the Force in a cut conversation.
Please tell me you found something. I think I've pissed the old boy off.
I sense I close.
No curse words in my Star Wars.
But what about all the ones that were already in there?
Like damn in hell? I guess that's
Sure.
right
I guess it's in the Bible.
there. Yeah.
I sense I'm close. You're right. There are definitely battle droids here. There was one patrolling the decks.
I do hope you've at least been subtle.
More subtle than you. Smash cut 2, interior Trade Federation ship locker room. Nemoidian number 2 casually goes to his locker. He opens it, and the unconscious Nemoidian number 1 dismantled the battle droid parts fall out of it. He jumps back with a startled jolt. Ah! A look of realization spreads across Napoleon number 2's face. He darts out of the room, sprinting down the hall toward the main deck. Interior.
Imperial trade. That's my favorite EU character. That joke never gets old.
Back to Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan walking quickly but stealthily. What was that back there anyway? You completely tipped your hand. You were supposed to be an ambassador. Stole him.
Remember your place, my very young apprentice.
Of course, Master. Sorry, Master. It's just that I don't think we have very much time. Qui-Gon looks nervously at the door. Very good. On YouTube, you get to see that nervous expression. Very subtle.
I'm really getting into it.
Not overacting at all. Okay, back to the bridge. Newt, Dauphine, and Roan Hako are before the hologram of Darth Sidious, a robed figure whose face is obscured by hood. Do you want to be Dauphine and the other Neimoidian gang?
Yes.
Okay. Newt Gunray, worried. They know everything. You said they would send ambassadors, not Jedi.
We're done for! This scheme of yours has failed, Lord Sidious.
He tries to compose himself and backtrack.
Failed? It was a strong choice of words. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, of course. It's just they are Jedi after all.
You see more worried about the Jedi than you are of me, Dauphine. You've forgotten your place. Pray I'm not forced to remind you of it. Viceroy.
Newt, looking very nervous, steps forward. Yes, my lord.
I don't want to see that stunted slide on my side again. Do you understand?
Yes, my lord. Newt gives Dauphine a fierce look, and Dauphine, terrified, runs off the bridge.
This turn of events is unfortunate. We must accelerate our plan, Viceroy. Begin landing your troops.
My lord, is that legal?
I will make it.
I didn't know I would be doing that. And the Jedi?
The Chancellor should never brought them into this. Kill them immediately.
Yes, my lord. As you wish.
I'm glad I was playing Rune Hako like that one.
I thought there was more Neimoidians in
No,
there.
this is very funny.
Okay.
That's great.
You can be.
Oh! I will as soon as I go back to where I was.
Oh!
So I've never used a computer before.
I know. Aren't you the smart one of us?
You would think. All right. Where are you? Yes, my lord, as you wish. Okay. Oh, no, that wasn't my fault. It went back up to the top.
What have you done? This will be edited out of the podcast.
This will all be edited out, except for you, YouTube.
Sorry, YouTube. Sorry, one person. What can you do?
I'm trying to get back there. Really trying. We're done for. The scheme of yours has failed, Lord Sidious, as my lord, as you wish. Okay. Back.
Okay. You can be the pilot and the captain, do different voices.
Oh, I'd love to.
Interior, Republic Cruiser cockpit, docking bay. In the cockpit of the cruiser, the captain and pilot look up and see a gun turret swing around and point directly at them.
Captain, look! No! Warren!
Kaboom! Exterior, Federation Champagne.
I was going to put it in another explosion, but maybe I'll just leave your kaboom.
Kaboom! The Battleship fires, the Republic cruiser explodes. Okay. Interior Federation battleship hallway. Obi-Wan looks nervously down a split hallway, but stops short, overwhelmed by the Force. Obi-Wan nearly wincing in anguish. Shit, Master.
I felt it too, which means we need to hurry.
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan wants
name?
down.
Obi-Wan runs down the hallway to the left and hides behind a corner. An Neimoidian holds up a special clearance card at the terminal of a large hangar door, looks around cautiously, and walks in. The door shuts behind him. Obi-Wan scans the ceilings and spots a ventilation shaft.
Anything?
Perhaps. Can you sense my location? Qui-Gon closes his eyes and meditates.
Yes.
Travel to the ventilation shaft before Bugface comes back. I think I found it. In the conference room, the blast door suddenly slammed down. Alarms start screeching. Yellow gas starts leaking through the ventilation shaft above.
I may have to take the long way.
About negotiations for a short, we'll give you that. Qui-Gon grabs a breathing device from his belt and puts it in his mouth as yellow gas fills the room.
Thank you for fixing that enormous plot hole.
It was bugging me, like Bugface.
Why don't you just pull your breather out when you're in that room?
He had it in his utility belt the whole
It was
time.
there. Thank you for fixing it, Jake. You fixed the movie.
Movie saved. George Lucas is canceled.
You heard it here first, people. George Lucas is canceled because they didn't pull out the breather in the gas room.
But there was an extended pullout.
That was.
I want to be clear that I love the Phantom Menace. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. I don't know. I wanted to see what I could do.
It's funny.
Okay, so cut to the other side of the door. A hologram of Newt Gunray stands proud before 10 battle droids, blasters drawn and pointed at the door. You can just put in the scene from the movie. Here, Newt Gunray, hologram. Sure, he's dead by now. Dispose of whatever's left of him.
So you didn't fix this part, where it
Why?
makes no sense for them to open the door.
Well, they're droids. They can breathe poison gas.
Yeah, but just wait like 15 hours.
You think you think the Emperor is like, that's totally fine. You could totally wait 15 hours. Nobody's waiting for the Jedi to come back.
No, just wait until you're sure they're dead. Don't wait 3 minutes.
I think this gas would kill somebody very quickly.
Not if they have a breather.
You wouldn't know they had that.
It's rolling down now. Spilling your tea.
Sorry, uncanceled. George Lucas is uncanceled.
Okay, anyway. Dispose of whatever's left.
Yeah. Solid round. The hologram fades off the battle droid. Cautiously opens the door. A deadly yellow gas billows from the room. Music rises. Battle droids cock their weapons as the figure stumbles out of smoke. It's CC-14 carrying the tray of drinks.
Oh, excuse me. So sorry.
The protocol droid passes the armed camp just as the glow of a green laser sword dramatically forms in the mist. By the way, that is also what it said in the original script. They use the word laser sword. Yeah.
George uses laser sword
I know.
all the time.
Yeah.
That's all Pablo's been talking about for the past 2 weeks, is he's finding every instance of when George Lucas said laser sword.
That's funny.
For some reason on Twitter, that's what he's doing right now.
That's funny. Qui-Gon flies over the deadly fog as the main theme starts playing. I'm putting in musical cues for you, bro. Isn't that
It's
nice?
really helpful.
I thought that might be nice.
You're also putting in a lot of like good direction for like doing the sound effects and stuff.
See, this is what we
And then
talked
also
about.
reading it.
Well, see, this is what I thought. Like, if we did that audio drama, I could write it like this.
No, this
Whatever.
would be plenty for me to
I'm saying.
without us having to like read the stage direction.
Spoiler alert: we're thinking of doing something like this, but
Thinking
not
of-
just the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, we're actually getting a real production behind it,
and
not my
right,
fake production.
new story.
Mhm. Newt story.
Newt.
Send me your
Newt
newts.
story.
Send newts.
Is that a tweet? Okay. Okay. The bridge is a cacophony of alarms. Newt and Rune watch the battle droid on the screen. I'm not sure exactly what. I gave this guy a name. It was a name that was in the script.
Is that
That's the action figure.
ventilation shaft guy?
No, that's the droid. That's the main battle droid in that scene. It says like rider.
No, it's a. Why can't it be Nemoidian? It's a Nemoidian who says they went up the ventilation.
No, I know, but in the movie, that droid who like approaches
Oh, okay.
at
okay,
first,
okay,
yeah, that's that guy
I
in
got you.
the original script. Okay, so 001 is suddenly cut in half in mid-sentence. Rune gives Newt a worried look. What the basis is happening down there?
Oh,
You can be
I
right.
forgot it. He happened. He's cutting through our droids like butter.
Mumbling to
I
himself.
knew those things were cheap.
At least it is just him. Think the gods we got rid of the one on the ship. Lord knows what we do with two Jedi. Warning number 2 darts into the room, clearly exasperated. This is the guy from the locker room. Panting, wife exhaustion.
Panting wife exhaustion.
Put from the E.
Strike one.
Vice word. There's Rune points to the security feed at the bottom of the view screen, and we see Obi-Wan sprinting down a hallway, force pushing and Moynihan before he darts off screen. How could this happen? Seal the bridge, and I want your stories after the Padawan.
I don't think that will be enough, sure.
Well, I'm open to suggestions. Sure. Why? Don't say that.
Sure. Stop calling me sure.
That's not my name, so I'm calling you sure. The doors to the bridge slam shut. Interior. I'm just going to say that for fun. Federation battleship. I'm having fun. Hallway, outside bridge. Qui-Gon cuts several battle droids in half, creating a shower of sparks and metal parts. He makes his way to the bridge door and begins to cut through it. I can't read. You want to read the stage directions?
Yeah, Interior Federation battleship bridge.
Fun.
The crew is visibly nervous as sparks start flying around the bridge door. Qui-Gon is on the view screen, cutting through the door.
Close the blast doors!
It's really hard not to read these as like the movie.
And I'm fighting it.
Because I've heard that so many times.
Close the blast doors!
I can just hear it. I can hear the
I had to get
racism.
that racism out of
I
my
had to get it out. Say it out.
Cancel.
You're canceled, Dick.
Sorry.
The heavy, thick blast door slams shut, followed by a second door, then a third. There's a hissing sound as the huge door seals shut. Qui-Gon stabs the door with his sword. The screen goes black as a red spot appears in the center of the blast door. They're still coming. Oh, I want to do it.
I know.
They're still coming through. Okay. They're still coming through.
On the door, chunks of molten metal begin to drop away. This is impossible. You don't cut out the stuff that works. You keep the stuff that
You
works.
keep the stuff. You keep the casual racism.
This
It
is,
works.
you know, this is. I don't think it's racist in my version. But if I'm getting the script and I'm punching it up, this is what I'm keeping.
Yeah, no, this dialogue on its own is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like from the movie, yes. It's ruined by the slightly racist accent.
If it said New Gun Ray, weird accent.
Yeah.
This is impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. So Obi-Wan emerges behind Qui-Gon, who's still cutting through the blast door.
You never could stay put, could you?
It was getting a bit dull waiting about. Figured I'd come bail you out of trouble, as usual. The sound of metallic rolling rumbles behind them. They look back in unison to see 3 destroyer droids barreling toward them.
Looks like you brought the trouble with you, as usual.
Oh, just giving you spry in your old age. What do you like, a challenge?
I'm training you, aren't I? That's challenge enough.
The destroyer droids stop and transform into their battle configuration. Rapid fire lasers blast from their arm cannons. In a blink, the 2 Jedi whip out their lightsabers and begin deflecting the laser blast back at the destroyers. Almost a laser sword. But a blue spherical shield forms around the destroyers, absorbing the fire. Blast defense shield!
It's a standoff. Let's go.
They dart off down the adjacent hallway. Destroyer droids rolling after them, close on their tail. Follow me. This is it up ahead. Qui-Gon sees a security camera hanging from the ceiling up ahead. Still sprinting, he force pulls the camera off the wall and flings it toward the pursuing destroyers, creating an explosion. Cut to the interior. Federation battleship bridge. Newt and Rune stand on the bridge, watching the view screen as the wheel droids POV speeds the doorway.
They called wheel droids in the original script.
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you wouldn't call them
No.
wheel droids. Okay. We have them on the run, sir. They're no match for destroy.
A bridge worker, Tay How, on a computer console, cuts him off as the monitor displaying the Jedi sputters out. Sir, we've lost him.
Screen white. Okay,
Okay.
I'll start. You want me to start?
Yeah.
Or do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything you want to say, Jake?
I will forever hold my peace.
Interior Federation battleship, main bay.
Fine.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan appear at a large vent in a giant hangar bay. They are careful not to be seen. Thousands of battle droids are loading onto landing craft. Just as we thought, an invasion army.
Just as you thought. And you were right, as always.
I still don't know why. Why they want to invade, start a war.
But you had your suspicions.
As always.
You were trying to get into a manipulative planet. That's why you tipped your hand.
A little too far, perhaps.
Stop being modest. We both know you still have a plan. You always have a plan.
We always have a mission, but the plan for accomplishing it is as ever-changing as the will of the Force.
They're close.
What did I say?
You had some asses in there.
Yeah, well, I left it a little add a little as.
Sure. Except you changed the mission too. You know I'm always happy to play along, Master, but this is not what the Chancellor.
The Chancellor wanted us to force a settlement, but he was either unable or unwilling to believe that the Federation had already made up their minds, that they were capable of planning something like this. He gestures to the droid army. So I let the Force guide us instead of him.
You don't trust him?
I trust politicians less than the Force. Facts and my own instincts, yes. Meanwhile, war looms before us. I can't believe you made that typo.
How dare you?
Meanwhile, war looms before us, and destruction chases from behind. So are you quite ready?
Of course, Master.
We've got to warn the Naboo and contact Chancellor Valorum.
Maybe it's late for a warning. If they're loading up now, it means they'll start deploying any second, and our ship's been destroyed.
Quite right, my young apprentice. Which is why we're going to steal one of theirs. To be detailed.
Yep. This is a they fight kind of thing.
They fight.
I knew this was coming. I knew I'd written that at some point.
To
So-
be detailed.
Now, but here's what helps you understand it, is I write that it's tense.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
So imagine
I know that much at least.
that it's good.
I got that one detail. It's
Good
tense.
action scene. Well directed.
To be detailed, in a tense, stealthy set piece, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon sneak past the army of battle droids, security cameras, and Nemoidian workers. The only ships in the hangar are multi-troop transport tanks, MTTs, so they have to settle for one of those. Pardon me.
Excuse you. Good lord.
One of them has an open cockpit, which they sneak into. As they begin to lift off, one of the workers realizes that the ship isn't cleared for takeoff. Newt Gunray and Dauphine dash in and command the battle droids to take down the ship. Droids fire at the ship to little effect. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan successfully fly out of the hangar without major damage. Dauphine notes that the ships are too strong, but the only way to take out a Federation ship is by blowing it up from the inside. Ooh, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Gunray uses a comlink to contact the droid control ship.
Like-
All these typos.
Like the first thing they made in Star Trek.
contact.
So, I didn't like write this whole thing out, but in my imagination, this is not like the automated ships. Because I don't think you really see a cockpit in the ones in Phantom Menace. But I thought it'd be more interesting if what happens next happened, or like they were forced to steal a ship.
You actually saw them steal a ship and
Yeah.
then just cut to the ground.
Yeah, I thought it'd be more fun.
I agree.
You want me to give you a break and read some of this here? Just
Sure.
like a wall of text.
There's a big wall.
Big wall. Oh yeah, and the fact that they can only be destroyed from the inside felt
Yes.
like important foreshadowing for what Anakin does.
Mm-hmm.
Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan look behind them as they fly toward them and realize that the cargo hold in the back is full of hundreds of switched off battle droids. Obi-Wan says it shouldn't be a problem unless the Federation is able to activate them remotely. At that very moment, the droids switch on and take their battle formations. Qui-Gon takes the captain's chair as Obi-Wan tries his best to take down the droids and deflect their fire. Back in the Federation battleship, Newt Gunray gets a report from Dauphine that the ship is losing power, but is still operational. Newt commands the troops to start landing immediately. To 3 of the battle droid leaders, he says, storm the cities as planned. To another one, he says, find the wreckage of that stolen ship and ensure the Jedi are dead. Back at the stolen ship, the blaster bolts ricochet off Obi-Wan's lightsaber and damage the interior of the ship. Eventually, it begins to set fire. A stray blast hits the control terminal of the ship. We see an exterior shot that shows the ship spinning out of control. Obi-Wan and the battle droids are violently thrust around the cargo hold. Some of the battle droids still firing their weapons. It's a claustrophobic nightmare of flying blaster bolts and droid parts. They enter Naboo's atmosphere as Qui-Gon attempts to steer the ship to a body of water. Qui-Gon tells Kenobi to brace himself. Kenobi, being thrown from one end of the ship to the next, realizes that's impossible. He sees the approaching water through the cockpit window. Obi-Wan, using the Force, pulls a battle droid blaster to himself, shoots the latches on the back of the transport tank, which opens the loading door. Battle droids fly through the now open door and out the back of the falling ship. Obi-Wan yells at Qui-Gon, "This way!" Qui-Gon looks back and says,
I think I'll take my chances up here.
Obi-Wan grits his teeth, concentrates, and leaps out the back of the ship just before it crashes into the water. Obi-Wan adjusts himself in midair and dives into the water. Qui-Gon emerges, relatively unscathed.
Next time, you're driving.
Fun banter.
Fun.
Are we having fun?
We're having fun.
Okay, Interior, Naboo Palace. Oh, wait, TikTok. You want to read this story?
Yeah. Queen Amidala storms down the hallway of an ornate, extravagant palace, wearing her elaborate headdress and robes. Straining to keep up are the members of the governing council and 4 handmaidens, Irite, Yane, Rabe, and Sashay.
We didn't talk about that, but Queen Shadow, boy, they love to give a backstory to that little thing.
They did love well, it does, to be fair, that is something that might need a little bit of a backstory.
Yeah.
Why do all of these names
Boy, that's convenient.
It's very convenient that they all run.
What are they? It's freaking Dutch and DuckTales?
Yep.
Okay.
The group walks hurriedly as they talk.
I can be Amidala. You can
Okay.
be. You're going to be governing council member. Blah, blah,
I'll be
blah.
1 and 2.
Okay, and then I guess I can be Panaka, and maybe you can be Bibble. Sorry, Bibble. Okay.
But your highness.
We should have heard from them by now.
Negotiations can take time, milady.
Not this long. No word from the Jedi, and their ship's no longer transmitting a signal. Federation has blockaded the planet. For God's sake, we can't be so naive as to think their motives are purely. A captain of Naboo's security force, Harsh Panaka, races up to the hall.
It's Quarsh.
That's my bad. That's a freaking typo.
That's a friggin' typo.
Hey, straight
But-
2.5.
To be fair, Quesh is the name of a planet in Star Wars. So we got that.
Back to strike. He races up the hall with the holographic communicator in hand. He catches up with the Queen. I think, am I Panaka?
I can. You tell me what you want me. Oh, you be Panaka. No, I'll be Panaka because you can be
Okay,
Palpatine.
sure.
But wait a minute. Then you're. No, I'll be Palpatine.
I was already Palpatine.
I know, but then you just will be Amidala and Palpatine talking to yourself.
Oh,
over
okay.
and over again.
Gotcha.
So I'll be you're Sidious. I'm Palpatine.
Oh, okay. There you
But we still you be Panaka
go.
because that's where you're.
Panaka rushes up to the hologram. Lady, I've gotten through to censor.
It's for Palpatine. He has a new job. He works for TV channels. He's a censor.
I wish that was true. I wish that was true. Lady, I've gotten through to Senator Palpatine. Captain Panaka produces a holographic device. Queen Amidala quickly grabs it, and a small hologram of Senator Palpatine appears. They continue walking. Senator Palpatine, you've heard nothing from the Jedi.
How could that be true? I have assurances from the Chancellor. His ambassadors did arrive.
The hologram begins to sputter Queen Amidala. Yes, but did they ever leave?
It must be the negotiate.
The hologram fizzles out. Now the communications are down.
A communications disruption can mean only one thing: invasion.
Don't jump to conclusions, Governor. The Federation would not dare go that far. The Senate would revoke that trade franchise and they'd be finished.
We must continue to rely on negotiations. Negotiations? We've lost all communication. And where are the Chancellor's ambassadors?
This is a dangerous situation, guys. Our security volunteers will be no match against the battle hardened Federation army. We must make peace at all costs, and we'll not get into a course of action that will lead us to war.
They may have led us there already, Your Highness.
We don't go to war on meetings, Governor. I'll get to the bottom of this. Have hope,
With all due respect, there doesn't seem to be any hope.
and we'll find some.
I suddenly made him Irish. I don't know why.
Milady, there's no hope, I tell you.
After our lucky charms.
Screen wipe 2. Interior Skywalker slave lines.
Wait, what? Hey, you know what? I think it is a good idea to introduce the hero of our movie earlier in the 1 hour into the movie.
So yeah, let's talk about this for a second. So I wanted to do that for sure. I wanted to introduce Anakin around the same time that Luke is introduced in A New Hope, which he's not introduced until about like 20 minutes in or so.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do that, and I also wanted to really highlight the relationship between him and his mom more.
Yeah.
Establish that before we meet him, basically. So that's kind of what we.
Yeah, because I really think he was, one might say, Phantom Menace is a shot-for-shot remake of A New Hope, because what he's doing there, what he's doing in Phantom Menace is what he did in A New Hope, where you follow this one person until you meet this person,
You introduce them at the point they become relevant to the story.
Correct. And like he didn't follow that. Like in Empire and Return of the Jedi, we're cutting back and forth between a couple different perspectives.
Right.
But with Phantom Menace, again, he went back to here's our characters. We follow Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan pretty much the whole movie without cutting back and forth. Like we cut to the bad guys some.
Yeah.
But as far as our heroes go, we stick with the heroes as they're together. And
Yeah.
people come and go, but we stay with that core group the whole time. And I think the movie might have benefited from sneaking a little Anakin in there before you meet him.
Yeah.
And where you do.
Good. Well, we'll see if it's any good. I'd like to be Shmi.
Okay, I'll be Annie.
Annie, honey.
He's a person. His name is Anakin. So this is interior slave walker.
Slave Walker Sky Hut. That's my favorite of you character, Slave Walker Sky Hut.
That's good. Skywalker slave hut, night. The hut is dim, but for the dull, shimmering light of a lantern sitting on its. Shmi Skywalker is sitting on a ceramic stump-like chair holding a holographic book, while Anakin Skywalker sits on the floor before her, with his eyes full of wonder. Shmi, reading from the book, but he was not at all what he appeared to be. Inside him, and deep behind his internal screams, barely audible behind the sound of his racing pulse, behind the voices in his head telling him to run away, to give in to the fear,
was a smaller voice. At first a whisper, then a roar. A roar that said, it's not over yet. That said, stand up. Reminded him of who he was, who he had been, and who he could be. If he'd just fight back.
What was it?
The voice of the force itself. She looks back down at the book and continues reading. The beast before him had pinned him to the ground, his claws piercing straight through his armor and into his chest, his jagged fangs inches away from his eyes. And yet, for the first time, he allowed himself to look into those beastly eyes directly. At first, his fear compounded. The foul creature's eyes seemed to look right through him. He shuddered as he saw his own reflection in their mouths, those empty yellow pools of animalistic hate. But then it hit him. Those eyes were empty, dead. There was nothing behind them, nothing. And if there was nothing in those eyes, then the creature was really nothing at all, certainly nothing to fear. A smile grew on his face as he pulled his lightsaber toward him with the force, the light glinting off the hilt like a ray of hope as it flung through the air into his hand. The saber burst out with a flash of green, and with his last ounce of strength, to the pain of the piercing claws, he raised up to the creature's savage head and slam! A loud sound echoes through the hut, startling Shmi and Anakin. The camera pans to the window to reveal a Gamorrean guard standing menacingly on the other side. This is all you.
Okay. Good morning, guard. Speaking in a grunting, pig-like alien language, subtitled.
You can speak it.
I know. That would be very funny.
Yeah.
To just have that. I'm sure I have Gamorrean sound effects somewhere. Like,
Perfect.
lights out, slaves.
Shmi quickly blows the lantern light out and waits for the guard to pass.
Oh, come on. We have to finish it.
Tomorrow.
Come on, Mom. There's like 2 seconds left. This is so unfair.
Tomorrow.
Now.
Holding back laughter. Tomorrow.
Now.
Shmi sticks her hands out like claws and starts tickling Anakin, saying, tomorrow, tomorrow. Anakin starts giggling. Okay. Another thunderous slam booms out. The guard is back at the window.
Lights out means shut up. Don't make me tell you again.
Anakin and his mother look at each other with weary smiles. He's right.
No, he's not.
It's past your bedtime.
Bedtime isn't a time. It's like dinner time. It can be whenever.
It is time. It's a time when you need to go to bed, which is now.
Tomorrow.
Now. Anakin sighs and drags his feet, walking dramatically slow to his room. Do I need to pick you up like a little baby and carry you there? Anakin immediately starts walking past her.
Nope, I got it.
Easy there, Dad, when we tuck you in.
That's okay. All good.
Shmi is suspicious. She starts following Anakin. Well, that sounds like you're hiding something in there.
What? No, not hiding. Just there's a surprise, and you can't see it yet.
Not cleaning your room is a surprise now?
It's not that, really. I mean, I didn't exactly clean my room. I mean, it's not dirty. And all the dirt, but you know, you'll see soon. It's just not ready yet. Love you. Night.
You're a good Anakin.
Thanks.
You're born to play the role.
I auditioned. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
We've never talked about that on the show.
Yeah, no, we haven't talked about that.
You
were the blonde kid that everyone thinks they should have cast.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
And then you dyed your hair jet black.
I did. And then I dyed it brown.
Anakin slips into his room, and the door slides shut behind him with a mechanical clunk. Anakin's room is a claustrophobic round barracks with a flat metallic bed jutting out uncomfortably from one of the walls. You see some clearly self-made shelves featuring cobbled together junky gadgets and inventions on them, wrenches and other tools littered the floor. In the corner is a large tarp, which is clearly hiding something underneath. He looks behind him and cautiously, then rips the tarp off, revealing C-3PO, a pieced together, wiry, humanoid robot with one eye. Anakin switches him on. Master Anakin, how good to see you. If only I could see you better, of course, but with my oculus circuits incomplete and such. Not that I'm complaining, Master.
I know, I'm building you to help out Mom, but I should really program you to clean my room.
That would be very difficult to do in my current state, sir. Not since I'm ungrateful for the gift of life you've given me. It's just all the inadequate joints and aforementioned ocular.
Keep it down, would you? We're supposed to be asleep.
I do beg your pardon, Master Anakin. Why so ever did you wake me up?
So you can pretend to be me, sleeping.
Pretend to be you, sir. Why, I can barely pass a critical droid such as I am, much less a human such as yourself.
Remind me to program me to talk less, too. Look, you don't have to put on my clothes or anything. Just simulate some human breathing sounds, and I'll put my sheets over you, just in case Mom comes in to make sure I haven't snuck out.
And if I may ask, why am I doing this, sir?
Because I'm sneaking out.
Oh, dear. So Anakin.
I want me to read that. You can read mine.
Yeah, read that.
Anakin gets on his hands and knees and starts crawling under the bed. From his belt pocket, he pulls out a small crowbar-like tool for leverage. Hydro spanner, you could have said.
This is why I need somebody to punch up the Star Wars terms.
He sticks it in a suspicious crack in the wall and pulls out a circular clay slab. We realize he's carved it out of the ceramic structure of the house. He crawls through the hole, which leads outside the slave compound. After looking around, he replaces the slab and quickly stuffs the tool back in his pocket. He sneaks past the torch-bearing Gamorrean guards as he stealthily makes his way around the back of the compound. The camera pulls out to reveal hundreds of similar huts stacked uncomfortably atop each other like a junk pile. He waits in the shadows for one last guard to complete his rotation, before beginning to climb up to the top of the tallest building in the compound, using the windows as footholds. He sits atop the building and gazes out at the stars as the Anakin's theme soars. Time lapses as the two suns rise, mirroring the iconic shot in A New Hope. As the sun rises and the distant sands of Tatooine are slowly bathed in light, Anakin's theme ends by subtly referencing the Imperial March, a quiet moment of everything to come. So you're just describing
Describing the music. Yeah, but it's important to Star Wars.
It is. Exterior, space. Oh, sorry. Screen wipe. What kind of wipe is this? Because George loves his wipes. So which wipe in particular is this? Is this like coming from the left, coming from the right, circle in the middle, triangle?
Oh, how about circle in the middle?
Okay, circle in the middle. Okay. Exterior, space landing craft, Twilight. FX. What is FX? Besides the TV station.
I don't remember.
All right then.
Studied this for a while. I don't know at all.
6 landing craft fly in formation toward the surface of the planet of Naboo. Of the planet Naboo. Exterior, Naboo swamp, shallow lake, twilight. 3 landing craft slowly descend through the cloud cover of the perpetually gray twilight side of the planet. One by one, the Federation warships land in the eerie swamp. Troop transports, MTTs, emerge from the landing craft. Cut 2. Exterior, Naboo Forest, small pond, twilight.
Okay, we're gonna get into Jar Jar here.
Oh, I didn't know we had any Jar Jar.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Jar.
I wanted to.
Jar Jar.
I thought if I was gonna punch up the Phantom Menace script, because this is what it is, you're making the movie worse. I thought that it would be maybe good to emphasize Jar Jar's loneliness a little bit. The fact that he's been banished from his people and it's just kind of stuck by himself in this forest. I thought that might be a good thing to establish a little.
You thought you might give him like a little dimensionality beyond just like tripping over things?
Yeah, I guess that would.
I guess that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
If it works. You want me to read this part?
Sure.
Because you're dying?
Because I'm dying.
A small crab-like monster in the foreground. Is there a crab in Star Wars?
I'm sure there is. I can't
Alright.
think of one off the top of my head, but there
This is
has
why I
to be.
pay you. A small crab-like We'll see how this YouTube thing goes. A small crab-like monster in the foreground crawls along the edge of the pond. We hear the faintest blip in the background, like something emerges in
You want me to take over?
like something emerging from water. Rack focus to behind the crab. Rack focus is like, the listener at home, something in the foreground is in focus, but then you change the focus to whatever's in the background, and then whatever's in the foreground becomes blurry. Just for our casual listeners who don't rack focus
The
all the time.
casuals, you don't know anything about film.
Film literacy
It's about film literacy and
in Hollywood.
journalism.
Rack focus to behind the crab. 2 reptilian eyes emerge from beneath the water like periscopes. They eye the crab intently. The crab stops walking and it turns towards the water. Just as it turns, the eyes sink back beneath the pond. The crab turns back, keeps walking. The mysterious eyes re-emerge on the surface of the water. The water dwelling. Oh my god!
Oh no.
Of the water dwelling monster.
Strike 3, you're
Oh
out.
no! The mysterious eyes re-emerge on the surface, and the water-dwelling monster slowly rises from the depths. It quickly flicks its tongue out like a frog and eats the crab in the blink of an eye. The monster is Jar Jar Binks. To the left. The monster is Jar Jar Binks, a gunman. He climbs out of the water, looking somewhat satisfied. He passes belly. Cut to a wide shot of the forest, showing Jar Jar small and alone in the clearing. His face falls. We follow Jar Jar as he wanders the vast misty forest. He looks around to see a pair of bugs flying around each other, almost dancing in the air, happy. He attempts to smile, but it quickly fades. Ahead we see a herd of Kadu, walking together contentedly. Jar Jar's shoulders droop, and he lets out a lonely sigh. Suddenly, the herd of Kadu seems startled. They start running away rapidly. Jar Jar looks confused, but soon realizes the cause. A rumbling sound roaring through the air like ships landing. He threads through the stampede and follows the sound. A look of wide-eyed terror befalls the missus as he peeks over a large rock mass to see a swampy clearing with droid tanks and troops assembling ominously. You want to read this part?
Exterior, Naboo edge of swamp, grass plains, twilight. The droid invasion force moves out of the swamp and onto a grassy plain. 9 in his tank looks out over the vast army marching across the rolling hills. A small hologram of Rune and Newt stands in the tank.
So you're Dauphin.
I'm Dauphin. And there are no traces of the Jedi.
It's unlikely they survived the crash, sir.
Do not underestimate them. It's a new gunnery speaking right now. Until I see their bodies, you will proceed with extreme caution.
If they're down here, sir, we'll find them. They are moving out of the swamp, and we,
Mr. New Gunnery, are moving out of the swamp and are marching on the cities. We are meeting no resistance. Excellent.
Twitter.
By the way, that part is in the original script of the Fan Menace.
It never happened.
I thought that was a cool line. That they were like, they already, stormed the streets and everything.
That it happened quickly.
Yeah.
Rack focus to show Jar Jar.
Love that. Rack.
We love rack and focus, man.
Rack that focus.
Is that a tweet? Rack focus. Rack focus to show Jar Jar far in the distance. Jar Jar far in the distance. Witnessing this entire exchange from behind the rock. Dwayne Johnson?
Yeah! Surprise cameo!
Oh!
Amazing. He leans up, he walks up, and then Dwayne stand up. This happens all the time.
Jar Jar puts his back up against the rock and slides down to the ground to a seated position, clearly shocked. He looks distraught, conflicted. He stands back up to take another look at the convening army when he hears the cocking of a blaster behind him.
Do you want to be Jar Jar, or do you want to be
Battle
Battle Droid number 1?
Battle Droid number 1.
Oh, okay.
Freeze!
Jar Jar swivels around with a jolt to see a battle droid pointing a blaster straight at his head. Jar Jar throws up his hands immediately. Hi, I was just admiring your ships and guns and troops and tanks and...
Quiet! Are you a Gungan?
Oh, well, sort of, yes, obviously, but also, no, not anymore, not really. Sort of an ex-Gungan in practice, It's sort of kind of banished.
I want to take it back. It seems fun to be Jar Jar. I want to be Jar Jar.
Sorry.
It's fun.
I gave him a personality.
Man. All right. I have orders to Zuba.
What?
Let me try again.
They do.
I have orders to escort any of your kind back to our base. You're going to give us a location of your hidden city, Gungan scum.
Boy, love to, really, I would. I'm a helpful sort of guy. I've been a helper. In this particular instance, unfortunately, I can't exactly do that legally and morally and whatnot. In fact, I should probably be going. I'm more of a half Gungan, really. If that. My stepdad was a Gungan. My mom was a different thing. So really, I'm more like a 10th.
You've got the count of 3 to start moving, or I'll blast you. 1,
I heard the Gungan City was a myth, actually. It might even be on this.
2,
I think it's on Dantooine, as a matter of fact. So you're on the completely wrong place.
3.
A flash of sparks fly as the droid's head is cut off. The body falls to reveal Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon standing behind it, the latter with lightsaber in hand. He retracts the saber, giving Jar Jar a friendly nod, and continues walking with urgency. Jar Jar runs to keep up with them. Boy, am I glad to see you. Of course, I'm glad to see anyone these days. I suppose not anyone. I suppose considering I wasn't too hot on that clinker back there. Of course, I'm not really sure that droid really counts as an anyone, really, because I don't even know if they have a brain. Obi-Wan, under his breath, do you have one? Jar Jar, unfazed with the remark. Pretty sure. I mean, I can speak. We noticed. Qui-Gon shoots Obi-Wan a scolding glare. He stops walking and turns to Jar Jar, kindly placing a hand on his shoulder. Get back into Qui-Gon.
I've been inheriting these battles.
Been away for so long.
I've been away for so long.
Yeah.
I get back in Qui-Gon. Your gratitude is noted and appreciated, my friend.
Jar Jar's eyes light up upon hearing the word friend.
But we must be on our way, and quickly. Good day.
He gives Jar Jar a smile and a nod, and the two Jedi keep walking. Jar Jar seems completely unabated, and after a beat, he rushes up behind him. Wait, where are we going?
We are parting ways. We
Gesturing to himself and Obi-Wan.
are going elsewhere.
Never heard of it. Is it close? Obi-Wan rolls his eyes.
It is none of your concern. You may be on your way.
Your way is my way now. We'd rather it wasn't. It's not a matter of rathering it one way or the other. You saved my life. I know you what we Gungans call a life debt. Wherever you go, I shall follow. Whenever you fall into battle, I shall fight valiantly by your side until the day my life ends by saving yours.
That won't be.
Also, I'm really bored.
Look, my friend,
Please call me Jar Jar.
Jar Jar. As you saw, an army has landed. The planet is under siege by the very sorts of droids who nearly killed you. They won't stop until the Queen herself has surrendered.
And you're on the complete opposite side of the planet, so we need to hurry. There's no time for distractions.
That's
The
it!
end!
That's it! The end!
Surprise!
Surprise! You thought we were going to keep going.
You
That's
wish
it.
we were
That was the
completely
end of the script.
What do you think, Riley?
Jar Jar's much better.
He's fun.
He's fun.
I don't
He's
know.
fun. He's funny. He's not as annoying. He's not saying to squeeze me. So
That's
I
so
do
funny.
enjoy that. That is so fun.
That's good.
No, I liked it. It's very fun. You know, it keeps the bones of Phantom Menace.
Keep those bones.
You gotta keep those bones.
Good bones.
Oh wow,
Call back.
good bones. Why don't we say that anymore? Is that a tweet? Good bones.
It's a tweet.
Wow. Okay. I
A lot of tweets today.
got
I'm
it
noticing.
today. Well, we can't really say is that a shirt because that's copyrighted. So we
Wow.
gotta say is that a tweet.
Wow. That's right.
No, I like that you did keep the bones of the project. But one of the biggest complaints against Phantom Menace is that it feels very stern. It feels very devoid of fun. Sometimes it feels very devoid of personality. Sometimes, so adding a little personality in there does make it harkens back to the
Harkins.
to the
Alan
OT.
Harkin. I think
And Alan harkens back to the OT.
Ellen Barkin. Well, good. That was my intent. It was fun to write. I don't know if it's considered good, but
Well,
it was.
Who am I to know?
Who am I to know either?
Wait until you see chapter 3 of my fanfic. Then you can punch up, buddy.
Can't wait to punch you in the face
Hey,
after reading it. That's how I help people.
Oh, well, thank you.
Good. Well, we have to rate it now. Wait, no. We're skipping a step.
What are we skipping?
Now, usually, we read reviews. I never posted this online.
That's
But I
right.
have, in the bottom of my heart, I have to think that Gurge would have
Somehow
written
he would have written a review
review.
for this.
Now, it might take like 5 minutes to hear it,
Huh.
which might require me getting a break, getting some water. But I
Yeah,
feel
get some. I'm just gonna casually search online.
No. See, here's what's happening. We're streaming this live.
That's right.
We know we have one viewer.
Let me check the chat.
Could be Gurge.
Let me check the chat. See who has
Check
written
chat
something
for
in the
Gurge.
chat. Okay, you go get a drink. It takes me a minute to read things,
I
You know,
noticed.
so I have to like look for
Good.
a while at this chat.
Two thumbs up. What are we at? Roger Ebert film?
Whoa, we have 2 viewers and 2 thumbs up.
Hey.
And a new
Call
subscriber.
the new viewer now. We
Hello,
literally
new
just
subscriber.
stopped.
We have 0 content so far.
Oh my god, that Ancient Age stuff that I brought you like 9 years ago this year.
Oh yeah, drink some.
I didn't know that. I would be drinking this.
Somebody
whole
just
lot.
saw Hobbs, I think. Somebody in chat said Hobbs. He must have
Hobbs.
walked past the camera.
Oh.
Oh, he's probably out the window. Sorry if you just joined. We actually got to the slowest part of our stream so far.
We just finished reading my fan fiction. We're just waiting to see if hopefully a review from Gurge Lucas pops up.
I'm just
In the chat.
I'm texting someone unrelated.
Oh, okay, good. Well, you should be checking the chat.
Well, I got distracted.
Well, I guess I'll just wait patiently.
And I have a question for you after you finish your text. Oh my god, I just unplugged my microphone.
You sure did. Sorry about that.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah,
On brand. I don't know who this is, but they know our brand enough to know that we're
Very
being on
good.
brand.
I love being on brand. Brand and content. It's a hologram thing. They started talking about branded content and turned that into a character branding content.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh my god, Hobbs, you're so cute. Well, yeah, it's just not quite the same. I gotta say, doing fan fiction theater without a review
Without a review.
from Gurge. Let me check a review of just a random thing from fanfiction.net. I'll bet there's a review of something.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm going to read a review of a video game that I saw the other day that I've been obsessed with. And I posted it in our Discord. I was looking up Final Fantasy games for the Nintendo DS because I've been playing these games, but it's nice to have one on a handheld. And I looked up one called Final Fantasy IV Warriors of Light. And so I was on the GameStop website. I found this review.
What are you doing? I'm busy. I just realized you're doing something.
Yeah,
Okay,
you do
keep
what you're
going.
doing. And I'm
All
just gonna, while I'm waiting for Gurge's review, which I'm sure will pop up because he's a fan of the show. Now I want you to know there's no punctuation in this. So I'm gonna try to do this as best I can. The title is "This is the best FF game for the DS." Best without a T at the end. I must say this game is great. The visuals of this game is amazing, top notch. If you buy this, you just have that feeling like you made a perfect choice, and that you will enjoy hours of play and really enjoy this. It's a great game, great graphics, and it's fun. It makes you want to go on an adventure of your own and find some friends to adventure with. So you can find this game in store, grab it, and don't look back. And don't listen to anyone. I know good games, but I see one, and this is one of my top 10. So go out now and buy it. You won't regret it. Period. That
It's a very good review.
I pull up that sometimes and look at it. It makes me laugh when he says that you enjoy hours of play and enjoy. Oh, you will have that feeling like you just made a perfect choice. Which is, I love that feeling.
You've been obsessed with that review all week.
I know. It's my happy place.
Okay. Well, I just happened to check the chat. Now there's
Oh,
people in
cool.
the chat talking, and
Yeah.
it's amazing.
That's right.
It's so crazy. It looks like Gurge wrote something.
He came through.
He wrote a review of what we just.
Good. I guess to keep with the tradition, I have to read.
Yeah,
Gurge's
you have to read
review.
it. I tried to look for Mr. Fanfic Fan, but I felt like there was a conflict of interest or something, and he didn't.
Yeah, that is
He
weird.
didn't talk about this one.
That's upsetting.
I said it.
The fact that we have one without Mr. Fanfic Fan.
Yeah,
I have a feeling in our future we may have one without Gurge.
it's possible.
That's very possible.
It's very possible.
Hey, what in the hell is this? My movie that I made with my mind in 1999. It seems like you just took it. Like LIEK GIST. I mean, it was very good, but I can't help but think I owned this. It seems like your character were constantly going on with emotions and personality. And I didn't like that. DSNT. Overall, it gets secret forward. Good job. Wow, I was feeling like I was in a tailspin there the whole time.
Yeah, I don't think.
That was a real opposite Mr. Fanfic fan because he's usually positive to the very end.
Yeah,
That was horrifying
Yeah.
to the very end. I got the secret door.
I mean, he doesn't. It seems like your characters were constantly going on with emotions. I have to agree. I
Yeah.
feel like there are personality and emotions. I don't think Gurge likes that.
And you know what? It felt on the nose, but so Star Wars.
So is Star Wars. Do you remember that from behind the scenes stuff where he says that he cut like a scene? He used like a scene with like less emotion of Anakin saying goodbye to Shmi because he felt like the characters were just like going on. They were just like carrying on.
No, I don't remember that.
He's like, yeah. He's like, we filmed a couple of these, and one of the scenes that it just felt like there were tears and everybody was carrying on. So we didn't use that take. Like,
Yeah.
oh wow,
I used the one with crying.
what a shame. Anakin would be crying that he would leave his mother. We can't use that take because it would portray him as an actual human being.
Oh man.
Anyway.
Here's my question to you.
Okay.
Should I continue and finish that and follow up when we finish on the show?
Yeah. I mean, that was the first like half an hour of a movie.
Yeah.
So we would have to do like 4 more of these to get all the way through the movie.
Yeah.
Or more.
I'll be honest, it wasn't that hard to write.
Keep going. Okay. Tell that to Gurge.
Yeah, I didn't put all that much effort into it.
That sounds like GMT. That's on brand.
Yeah, so so maybe I will.
All
I
right.
get bored of work sometimes still. Maybe I'll have time to do that.
Go for it.
Cool.
I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Good. I'm glad we had fun reading it. I was worried about it because I really hadn't looked at it. So when I logged in, it's the last time I looked at it was 2 years ago. So I felt like maybe it would be uncomfortable. You know, it wasn't the worst thing in the world. And that's what we strive for on our show.
That we strive to be not the worst.
Occasionally, we miss. But we are the worst. This week, okay.
We're all right this week. Well, that was fun, Jake. I enjoyed it. Tune in sometime in the future when we'll read mine. That is a thing that I've written as an adult. I started writing fan fiction as an adult. Feels weird. So did Jake. We need to get Jasmine in here one more time.
Oh, come on.
At least one more time.
Hook us up.
To read her fanfic. But until then, thank you for listening. This has been delicately curated script reading of the fan fiction reading by Jacob as he wrote fan fiction of The Phantom Menace. Delicately curated, brought to you lovingly this one time, but possibly
Fanfiction
more.
Menace?
Fan Fiction Menace. Why didn't we ever think of that? Is
that
that a
a
tweet? We still got it, buddy. We're still best friends.
Ah!
Brought to you lovingly just weekly equations. It's the voices of your hosts, but actually Riley read some, but also mainly Jake.
It's me.
You didn't say anything.
I did it.
Hobbs sitting over there. I don't think you can see
Oh,
Hobbs.
I wish you could. He's
I wish
cute.
I wish you could see him. He's cute. Bye.
Bye. You know, I only look that fat from like the belly down. If I could live life with this shot, I'd look a lot better.
Mhm.
I feel better about myself.
True.
I should, you know, have a body. I don't think we should stream the 100th one, since it's going to involve us like playing clips and stuff.
That's true, but we just got someone who came in. Who is it? I think I broke YouTube. You keep dropping out. Good night and say hi to Gurge. This is almost as good as the Discord. I'm right here. I forgot I'm streaming still. It's awkward. This is almost as good as the Discord sessions, but I missed the kitchen shots. That means it's got to be
Gotta be Dark Knight.
it's got to be Dark Knight DG or Mac. I don't know who that is, but they were both there for the kitchen. Fanfic.
Gotta say, I had
4.
fun doing Mac's show. Had to.
I listened to that episode. That was a good ep.
It ended up being a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fun talking about Pokemon.
I thought it was one you guys had recorded a long time ago because
Now we recorded like that week.
yeah, because I've recorded like 2 with him in the past few months that he's just like building them up.
I told him that he should release that one because it coincides with Detective Pikachu.
Does make sense. Does make sense. You got to get those
I
clicks.
said put me ahead of others.
You got to.
get the
You got to get the clicks. You gotta think about the algorithm. You gotta think about those clicks. Okay, so we are. I don't know who's in there. I don't know if it's Mac or if it's Daniel or if MJ's still in there. I think she left. But we are now doing our 100th episode, which we are not going to stream.
You might think that'd be the one to stream it.
You might think it's be the one.
There's
to stream.
too many like bits that we have to
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of post production on that one.
Yeah.
So
we gotta cobble together something here.
We cannot stream it.
It's gonna be like the Adam Sandler film, The Cobbler.
It's gonna be like the Cobbler mixed with like Punch Drunk Love. Throw a little bit of Happy Gilmore in there, along
I mean, his Netflix special,
and his
which I heard is
Netflix
good.
which I heard is good. So anyway, goodbye. Hopefully
Goodbye.
this video stays on YouTube and we can rewatch it back.
But we don't know if it will.
We don't know until we stop
Yeah.
streaming and find out. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to quit.
I guess we just exit out of it.
End stream. There it is. It was hidden. End.